its forces contingent upon the Taliban meeting certain conditions, which would lead to a political agreement between the Taliban and the government of Afghanistan. There were 7 conditions applicable to the Taliban and 8 to the United States. While the Taliban did not attack the United States forces, which was one of the conditions, it failed.
The very fact that they made an agreement with the Taliban means that they recognize the Taliban was a significant political military force still in the country.
We, the United States, adhered to every condition. In the fall of 2020, my analysis then was that an accelerated withdrawal without meeting specific and necessary conditions.
Hey, what's up, Lambo Stacker?
Losing the substantial gains made in Afghanistan would potentially damage U.S. worldwide credibility and could precipitate a general collapse of the Afghan security forces and the Afghan government, resulting in a complete Taliban takeover or a general civil war. That analysis was a year ago. Based on my advice and advice,
within a couple of weeks.
Then Secretary of Defense Esper submitted a memorandum on 9 November.
How you doing, Lambo? I'm going to watch this and unbox some stuff. It's been sitting here forever. It seems like
11 November, I received an unclassified signed order directing the United States military to withdraw all forces from Afghanistan by 15 January 2021. After further discussion regarding the risks associated with such a withdrawal, the order was rescinded. On 17 November, we received a new order that reduced troop levels to 2,500 plus an alien force.
Oh, that's a lot of paper. All right. Nice. Kilo stackers will probably cost less than $850 brand new from Scottsdale soon. Hey, pick some up. You see this? I just got 25 Britannias. Have a look, make sure that they're all here. Hey, what's up, Metal Angler? Woo! Oh, nice. Oh, that looks nice. Hold on, let me open this up. Put one up here.
President Biden announced his decision. The U.S. military received a change of mission to retrograde all U.S. military forces, maintain a small contingency force of 700 to protect the embassy in Kabul until the Department of State can coordinate contractor security support.
There's that button. No, that's first. We'll keep the natural lighting. Oh, yeah. Now that's a tube. Oh, here we go.
The war in Afghanistan did not end on the terms that we wanted. The Taliban now in power in Kabul. Although the NEO was unprecedented.
Yeah, these are nice. And I think they've got the anti-milk spotting technology on them. Since they're in a tube, I see a couple of dings, but sorry. I should probably turn that off. So what do we got here? 5.
They never met. Have an opportunity to live in freedom.
10.
The Taliban was and remains
15.
a terrorist organization. They still
20, and including this one, 25. So they got the amount right. How's it going, you guys?
We must continue to protect the United States American people from terrorist attacks from Afghanistan. Reconstituted Al Qaeda or ISIS with aspirations to attack.
You know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna keep them in this tube. But this one's almost full. These are almost full here, so we'll have to get a new one open. Oh, a 3-hour meeting. Oh man. I hope You enjoy your Wednesday after that, brother. I'm so sorry. Well, that's what happens when you don't recognize the rampant corruption that in the partners that you're working with. That's what's unforgivable. I mean, you got to remember that the Afghan people did the same thing under the English. They did the same thing under the Russians. So why in the world would you think that they wouldn't do the same thing to you? Or were you just so ignorant of the history you didn't recognize it? The generals are the ones that I blame for 20 years of reckless oversight. You guys can talk politics in here. That's why I have this on. I'm not monetized, so I don't care.
I'm specifically directed to communicate with the Chinese by Department of Defense guidance in a document known as the Policy Dialogue System. These military-to-military communications at the highest level are critical.
Yeah, whatever.
The United States,
how much money went from the taxpayers in our country to Afghan warlords? The Taliban. So we made them stronger and then act surprised when they take over the country when we leave. Give me a break.
Last night I briefed that intelligence in detail. The Senate Armed Services Committee. I'll be happy to brief it to any member or group of members at your discretion in classified session. And I know, and I am certain, President Trump did not intend on attacking the Chinese. And it is my directed responsibility as Secretary of Defense to convey that intent.
Wait, why is he talking about the Chinese?
My message was again consistent. Calm, steady, de-escalate. We're not going to attack you. Secretary of Defense Esper.
Hey, what's up, Colonel?
I made a call to General Lee on 30 October. 8 people sat in that call with me, and I read out the call within 30 minutes. The call ended. On 31 December, the Chinese requested a call with me. The department's Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asia Pacific Policy helped coordinate my call, which was then scheduled for 8 January. And he made a preliminary call on 6 January.
Didn't he get caught talking to all types of people secretly? I think he did, yes.
That same day. On 14 December, then Acting Secretary for Defense Miller.
I think he was afraid of potential conflict and made secret calls to the Chinese. Maybe that's why he's talking to the Chinese. But I thought this was about Afghanistan, so.
Inquire about the president's ability to launch nuclear weapons. I sought to assure her that nuclear launch is governed by a very specific and deliberate process. She was concerned. She made various personal references characterizing the president. I explained to her that the president is the
Colin trying to get some ambition to go do some work. I hear you. I've got a ton to do as well, but this is one of those things. It's just I've got 4 more packages to take care of. I just can't have them sitting here. You know, they got to go into deep storage. So I've got to do this. I'm considering this work this morning. So yeah, I got these Britannias. These are 2021 1-ounce Britannias that came in a tube, and they're going to go in capsules to protect them, and then go into deep storage. Hey, Chief Stacker, how's it going? You guys are welcome to come up if you want. Here, let me put a link.
Refresh all of us on these
Let's see
procedures,
here.
which we practice 3 times a day at the action officer level. Additionally,
Oh, right on.
informed Acting Secretary of Defense Miller of her call. At no time was I attempting.
I wanted to watch this like Paula,
usurp authority, insert myself in the chain of command.
but I also had to get some work done. So
Give my advice, ensure the president is fully informed.
why not do both?
I am submitting for the record, and I believe we have it, a couple of memorandums for record, in addition to detailed timelines, and I am happy to discuss in further detail in either classified or unclassified sessions with any or all of you my actions surrounding these events. I welcome them. Thorough walkthrough.
Yeah, right. He welcomes them. I'm sorry. I do not trust these generals at all.
My oath is to support the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I will never turn my back on that oath. I firmly believe in civilian control of the military is bedrock.
Making breakfast. Yeah, I pretty much drink coffee until noon these days. I'm going to have to start getting back to some good, healthy breakfasts.
Ranking Member Rogers, distinguished members of the committee, thanks for the opportunity to testify about recent events in the county.
Can you guys hear this okay? I could turn it up a little bit, but
specifically the withdrawal of U.S. forces and the subsequent non-combatant evacuation operation. These were 2 distinct combat missions, both conducted in contact with the enemy. We had a plan for each of them.
It would have been, I think it would have been a catastrophe no matter what. But if they had not been so lackadaisical about understanding the enemy, they could have been better prepared. Yeah, Colonel, I don't know. These generals, that's a political position. But you're right. You know, politicians are no more trustworthy.
Once the president made his decision, my headquarters and that of U.S. Forces Afghanistan under General Scott Miller made the withdrawal of our forces our top priority. We did this in close coordination with our allies and partners.
It was going to be a cluster no matter what.
We synchronized across the coalition and with our Afghan partners. On no occasion were they called.
You've got to know.
Our movements. Every base was handed off to Afghan forces according to a mutually understood plan.
You just got to know
this is particularly true of
who you're partnering with. And again, I don't know if you were here, I said, you know, the Afghans, they've gone through this with the English 100 years ago. They rendered it untenable under the circumstances. You're absolutely right, Kellen. They all lie and cheat and are just for their pockets. But remember, you know, it's also the who really got rich. I mean, besides the politicians, but the people who are in the military-industrial complex making deals with warlords over there.
I'd like to shift briefly to the NEO.
Making weapons.
Was a completely different operation than the withdrawal.
There's so much money that got filtered over there. It was the whole goal was to have an endless war.
And they made that decision in 14 August.
So people can get rich.
Planning, Central Command assumed that we would have to bring out a large number of people.
All right. So we got our
we did not regard
roll in capsules.
Neither did we rule it out. And we identified critical indicators.
Yeah, the corruption.
National Defense Forces.
Man.
We crafted branches to our base plan to account for a
just look at, I mean, what the can't wait to hear if they're ever going to testify. But Fed presidents, was it from Boston and Texas, who were trading securities while the Fed is buying up securities? It's like, okay, something's not right.
other elements of our own alert pre-planned force package, and I requested that they be deployed into Kyle on my
Tired of it.
These forces flowed swiftly into theater, even as the Afghan.
And is there going to be any,
thousands of civilians access to the airfield?
is there going to be any comeuppance? Is anyone going to, get prosecuted? I don't think so.
We cleared the airfield and resumed flight operations in a matter of hours. The security reestablished by
All right.
comprising
So that was that roll. 25 Britannias.
Operations continued
Going to go in storage, and then I got to add it to this. Okay.
This was a difficult mission, made possible by the exceptional professionalism and
Do I
valor
have-
of the joint forces on the ground in Afghanistan and across the entire world. I would specifically like to use this opportunity to
I
thank
thought
the
I had a
617
log
crews of the
for
Air Mobility Company
Britannias, but
for
it might
feat
be
rivaling and exceeding, in fact, the Berlin Wall.
2020.
Moments after the last of the final 5 C-17s lifted off from HKIA, I held a briefing with the Pentagon Press Corps and expressed my gratitude and admiration for the forces who carried out this endeavor. I also provided various figures that conveyed the magnitude of their accomplishment. I won't reiterate those figures here and now, but I will say that after the passage of nearly a month, my pride in their accomplishment remains undiminished. I don't need to tell this body that on 26 August, 11 Marines, 1 sailor, and 1 soldier made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of their country. We will never forget them. This was a combat operation of the most difficult sort.
We have 21 bases in Germany and 23 in Japan. Why hasn't Joe ended World War II? Yeah. Well, my understanding is that a lot of those bases are under an agreement for NATO.
What we thought was an imminent threat to HKIA. That strike was a mistake, and I take full responsibility.
But I agree. Listen, the very fact that now don't get me wrong, I totally completely support our troops. The Afghanistan thing was not a troop failure. It was a policy and political failure that stemmed from 20 years of lackadaisical oversight of the operations that were really happening. Like we're paying Afghani troops, for example, but the Afghani troops weren't even getting paid. The people in charge of the troops would come and pick up the check, deposit it, and keep the money for themselves. I mean, the fact that we had no oversight and these warlords were getting rich off taxpayer dollars is a policy failure that comes from the generals ultimately not knowing what was happening or not caring enough to research it. So it's a policy failure, procedural failure, political failure, not a troop failure, right? So I'm going to say this, I totally support the troops. They're there, to do a job under very tough circumstances. But the money that we put into the military-industrial complex is outrageous. How much money we spend in military, in my opinion, needs to be cut, because there's so much corruption in it, so much waste. It's become its own machine.
Where nothing goes wrong. And it's really frustrating to hear people advocate that we should stay and still decry what happened.
Well, and the Afghans didn't fight, right? The Taliban came up and said, hey, you guys, you want to die or join us? And the Afghan army said, we'll join you. Because that's how they do. They did it with the English. They did it with the Russians.
Service members could have been left there, and how you approach that decision, and what exactly, not what exactly.
Let's see.
Supposed to the president for what I said earlier, but how you approach that decision and how you attempt to deal with that while advising the president.
Well, first of all, Chairman, let me be clear that I support the president's decision to end the war in Afghanistan.
It needed to be ended.
Staying in Afghanistan forever.
Absolutely.
And let me also say, we've talked about the process that we use to.
But trust me, there's a lot of pissed off people
I think that process
that
was a very thorough.
I don't even call it a war. The conflict over there was ended because that means they're not going to make that money anymore.
Discussed and deliberated on throughout that process. As you indicated, I will always keep my recommendations to the president confidential. But I would say that in my view, there was no risk-free status quo option. I think that the Taliban had been clear that if we stayed there longer, they were going to recommence attacks on our forces. I think while it's conceivable that you could stay there, my view is that you would have had to deploy more forces in order to protect ourselves and accomplish any missions that we would have been assigned. It's also my view.
Right, Chief Stacker, absolutely. That's the whole thing. Like, if you don't spend your budget, you're going to lose your budget, right? I mean, I was never in the military. I mean, thank you for your service, of course. I mean, I totally respect that. I mean, but it's a bureaucracy, and every bureaucracy is going to operate in the same manner. Unless there's oversight, it's going to, there's going to be waste and fraud and abuse. It's just a fact of the matter. You've got to have more oversight. Hey, Kay Titus. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. What spot price at right now? Is it $23?
And I do hope that people will remember that as we go through the questions and answers that will proceed. With that, I yield to the ranking member.
Let's see. Oh, 2160. Holy moly, it got smacked. Spot got smacked. Down 93 cents. Wow. I guess I should have waited another week before I bought these rounds. 2160. It's, obviously the paper market so heavily manipulated. I think the top 8 short positions on silver are the wealthiest banks in the world. So, the spot does not reflect true silver value at this time at all. So, does it bother me that it's dropped to 2160? No, because I'll probably be buying more. It is so time. Like I bought those 25. Actually, I bought those 25 September 14th. So I spent a little bit more. But I spent $3.99 over spot at the time, which I think is a pretty good price. But man, now I wish it took 2 weeks to get here, by the way. So 2 weeks.
I'm thinking about the change.
All right, so
everybody's making decisions about truth level.
The next one we have here is from Saca Plata.
It was the State Department or the White House. I want to know who said we're going to go from 2,500 to 650 and just protect Kabul and the State Department.
There's a military analysis that 6,700 could
100-gram Geiger. I don't deal too much with
who made the decision?
The 100-gram Geigers, but let's see.
I would
looking at right now, 69 cents a gram is spot. Now you add a little bit more.
Did you receive advice from General Miller in the end of 20?
What do you guys think? 75 for 100-gram Geiger would be a great price. What are they going for on eBay? It also depends on what type of Geiger it is. If it's, the Geiger Edel metal, You can buy one right now from AppMex, which I think is always a little bit overpriced, for $100 on eBay. Well, let's see what they're selling for right now. Yeah, 103 from AppMex, but that's the square bar, the nice one. You can get the 100-gram, you know, like just,
heard with great thoughtfulness by the president. Well,
like the rectangular bars
There was a fulsome debate of the pros
as well. So yeah, if you get, I guess between 75 to $100, I think you'd be doing great. Just my opinion.
No one said that to me, referring to keeping some 2,500 troops in Afghanistan. Was that an inaccurate statement by the president?
So I'm not going to comment on the statement by the president.
Oh, Kellen L's on it. No more than 125. Yeah, I would say no more than 125 for sure. I was just looking at it, and you can pick them up for $100 from AppMex right now. If you can pick up a Geiger for 30 an ounce, I would get it. But it depends on what Geiger. If it's like just a generic sort of Geiger like AppMex often makes, then I think it's okay. But if it's from the German, and it has like the blue background with the diamonds and the serial number, you should pay a little bit more for that. All right, let's get into this package from Socket Plata.
On August 18th, the president said, quote, the idea that somehow there was going to be a way that we could have gotten out with chaos ensuing. I don't know how that happens, close quote. How do you reconcile between what he assured the Congress and what the president said?
I don't know. Here's another thing. Like, again, I am not in the military or have a military, well, I can say I'm a history background. But in what way can anyone expect not to have a disorderly retreat after losing a war? It's like we lost. We pulled out. There is going to be pandemonium. Tell me one time in history where you lose a war and everybody gets out unscathed. It's an unreasonable expectation.
What caused the chaos that we had. If they'd allowed the DOD to be in a command situation, we wouldn't have had this problem. General McKenzie's testified that the only reason he couldn't keep Bagram was because he had to draw down to 650 troops, and his primary orders were to keep Hamid Karzai in the State Department safe. We just have to admit this was the State Department and the White House that caused it, not the Defense Department.
Well, read the Afghanistan papers, and you'll know it's both. All right. I know I have it.
Based on the condition on the ground, General McKenzie recommended against final withdrawal.
Oh, you think you can get a Geiger at lower than 30? I remember when they were going for like 45.
Why did you not stop
I'll tell you, the derivative market for silver, the derivatives that are being placed on silver is outrageous. It's so high. If they ever expected physical, well, they have to be crazy.
On the criteria in the Doha agreement to ensure.
Yeah, right, Chief Stacker. Like, so everyone, this is what we're gonna do. Just want to give you advance notice. Like, the Afghans don't have satellites. Ooh,
And
Pam Swiss,
it's more of a lull.
1 gram gold bar.
It's relatively low.
I don't usually get the 1 grams, but I was in a buying frenzy this particular day.
I'm gonna stick to the 5-minute rule. So when the clock hits 0, we're gonna move on to
Celtic Rabbit.
Thank you, sir. On the issue of why we didn't bring out civilians and
It's a 20 gram
SIVs
Geiger.
sooner, again, the call on how to do that and when to do it is really a State Department call. We provided input, as I said in my opening statement, to the State Department. Their concerns rightfully were that, number one, they were being cautioned by the Ghani administration that if they withdrew American citizens and SIV applicants at a pace that was too fast,
I forgot what this was.
it would cause a collapse of the government that we were trying to prevent.
That's a great price, Kellenel.
That went into the calculus.
That's a great price. Yeah, right now is definitely the time to buy. This was a few weeks ago, and I spent $10 more, but this was at auction from Saca Plata, so I usually accommodate for like a $5 to maybe $10 overbid just based on what he has up for jackpot giveaway.
Sooner,
This
but again, they had a number of things to think through.
This is a
In terms of
a 1988 commemorative Royal Australian Mint
in
proof
summer versus waiting until the next
with
year.
was it the First Fleet 200th anniversary of the First Fleet?
As we came on board,
Chief Stacker, you might appreciate this.
The agreement that had been made was that we were going to depart by May 1. We were able to work to get more time to ensure that we could conduct a deliberate.
Colin said only other gold our local coin shop had was the pre-33 or 1 ounce pieces. You gotta be careful with
in the summer versus going into the next year.
Pre-33. They end up getting counterfeit quite a bit. This capsule is not.
So,
There we go. Got it snapped in. There we go. Pretty. Love it. Still on the original packaging.
One of our missions was to prevent a haven for terrorist groups, and I quote, "We have failed in that mission," end quote. Similarly, the director
Totally worth it for $40 on that,
to threaten the homeland in 1 to 2
in my
years.
opinion.
So I agree that over the horizon operations.
Even though I think it's only a half ounce or something like that.
Without complementary operations, there would be insufficient to keep us safe. Secretary Austin, I am confident that over the horizon capabilities on their own to mitigate the terrorist threat.
So yeah, the
I'm confident that we can prevent Afghanistan from becoming
Afghanis had
keep our country safe. And I apologize.
swords and bows and arrows.
Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
British went in.
On August 16th, President
They
Biden
failed.
promised to keep military troops
And
in Afghanistan until
Afghanis
everyone
ended up with rifles.
was able to leave. This did not happen.
Then the Russia went in.
Since he sent 19
And they had like what M1 grants and stuff like that.
leave the country since March of this
And then
year.
the
Also, on
Russians went in, and all the Afghanis ended up with AK-47s when
behind a residual
they failed.
even though all of you
And now,
with General Scott
when we
Miller,
failed, they all have
clear that your professional military advice
M16s.
On August 26, I formally requested all letters referenced that day by Biden from military
This is
commanders
pretty cool.
advising him on the Afghanistan withdrawal. To date, I haven't received a response. As a 31-year Army veteran myself, grateful to have 4 sons who had served in Iraq, Egypt, the southern border, and Afghanistan, I was immediately skeptical letters existed. President Biden left behind thousands of American citizens, green card holders, brave interpreters, and Afghan media reporters.
Kellen says, I avoid collectible stuff unless the price is right. Then I trade it off. I hear you. Except if you really love it, why not collect it? You know what I mean? let's see. But you're right to be wary of it because a lot of it is you can't be sure it's going to be of interest down the line. So for collectible pieces, it's really important that either you love it and you are willing to pay that premium over, or that it's very limited mintage. Chief says the premiums on gold coins are too high to me, so I collect raw gold instead. Yeah. I mean, I look at some of those premiums myself, and it's like, okay, for a 1 ounce, 150 over spot, I think is way too high. Okay, what did I get here? Oh, okay.
And I'll do that as long as we possibly can until the clock runs out, or if we run out of capability.
That must be something I won. I don't remember winning a whole roll. Foreign silver coins is a great thing to collect if you're just stacking for silver. Absolutely. Oh, we got 2 rolls of rosy dimes. That's a good thing to stack.
First of all, sir, thank you for your personal service in our military.
I must be missing something here. Hold on.
We remain grateful. On the issue
Oh,
of
no, here it is.
congratulating,
Okay.
American citizens,
Did I pay for that?
SIV holders, or SIV applicants, this work continues on. We're not finished, and we'll make sure that we stay focused on this to get out every
Yes, I did.
American
Okay.
citizen that wants to leave and has the right credentials to be able to leave. On the issue of the security at the airport, it was my assessment, and I remain convinced of this, that the risk to mission and risk to force was beyond significant. And had we stayed there much longer, we would have endured continued attacks by ISIS-K and potentially the Taliban. And, as each day went forward, as that risk increased, we stood to have aircraft shot down. We stood to have people injured additional people injured on the airfield.
Chief likes to melt his raw gold into homemade bars. That's awesome. Hey, Sakaplata. Yeah, it's crazy movement on silver and gold today. Sakaplata, are you buying or are you going to wait? I remember maybe, what was it, 6 months ago, doing a trend line for silver, and the trend line showed silver going down to $18. And everybody thought I was crazy. And, ooh, nice. Thanks again for packaging these so well, Sakaplata. Oh, look at that.
The buck stops with 13 murdered Marines. Mr. Biden is disregarding
It's a half-ounce
advice, and I believe the president should
Krugerrand from 1980.
Mr. Larson is recognized for 5 minutes.
Heads up, I don't have
I was really looking forward to that.
my questions right now, so get ready to answer them. With regard,
Sakaplata says, I bought a little bit, but waiting for it to dip further. That's a good plan.
Classified signed order.
It's just getting slammed. Which doesn't bother me. Oh, here's the Wonder Woman's. Awesome. Or Wonder Woman 007. Guys, I won this at Sakaplata's auction. That is really cool. It's actually really cooler in person than seeing it on the pictures. I love how it's antiqued. Thank you, Sakaplata. Sweet. Surrounded by silver here is a great feeling. Silver and gold. Okay.
accepting the feasibility, acceptability, and suitability of that.
Kellen said at 1858 Canadian 20-cent piece, paid $3.26.
Time, well,
33 for a grading. Now we're at 250 to 350.
you know,
That's fantastic.
20 years,
I love going to my LCS too. I got 4 Morgans here that I paid, just fair market value for, except that they're FAMs.
We increase our.
So I know they're worth a little bit more. I got some of the annex. Yeah, go to your. If you have a high volume local coin shop,
not complete withdrawal.
they don't have the time to be able to look through everything, every little piece.
This will be the first time.
Look at that, Barber.
November 11th.
1913S.
Ask for a withdrawal to zero. To your knowledge.
To my knowledge.
I know it doesn't come out that great on that camera, but.
Got it. Or maybe president, I should say. Thank you. Just trying to get timeline set up. And this relates to gentleman.
I'll take that, Kellen L.
2,500. The recommendation, the discussion had about 2,500.
Okay.
Troops.
Let's see here. We got.
Was that for a particular set of missions?
One Wonder
And did those
Woman.
missions change?
2 Wonder Woman.
Therefore,
One.
that 2,500 became 650, became zero.
I'm a big fan of Wonder
So when
Woman.
we look at the 2,500 number,
I really would like to get one of those sensation comics from back in the day after watching that movie. I just want to see.
As we went down to,
Okay, see, we got some
you get a force that is almost exclusively built around the
Benjis. Here, let's go.
in the airfield.
Here's a
to provide
James Bond.
entry-level, logistics to the Afghans. By that, I mean a package comes into the airport, you give it over to the Afghans, they drive it away, and you have no way to track what happened. We lost
Where is that?
Yeah, but
1878
based on
CC
the civilian leadership saying
Morgan.
this is
Because
what the
that will be my first
civilian
CC.
do, and I know
There it is.
Point. It's
Look at
you
that.
make the recommendations, giving your best advice, and then civilian leadership has the opportunity to say thank you, and but here's what I would rather be doing.
That's absolutely correct.
So the mission changed.
The mission fundamentally changed when going to zero means you're going to reduce all your
Some
capability to do any
Nice
kind of
toning
real
there.
on the ground work, even at a truncated level with the Afghan forces. You're going to be talking at the ministerial level, the very highest levels of government only, and you're not going to have any real visibility about what's going on the ground.
Yeah, General Milley, did you want to address that?
I did. I just wanted to clarify one thing. The 11th November one is actually not the first one. The first one's the Doha Agreement, which directs.
Yup, I gotta do it.
1 May. The 11th November order is accelerated withdrawal to bring it to zero by 15 January.
Where is?
So 2 different.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, there it is.
Very much. Appreciate that. I'll
Magnet.
for the record,
was
I'll
good.
ask this question.
We're just gonna check the weight.
To kind of follow on all of this,
What was it,
what
26
are-
point
how
something
do you
grams?
define over the horizon capabilities?
Oh, 26.35 grams. Thank you very much, Saka Plata. That is an authentic
We have 5, 15
CC
seconds.
Morgan, sir. Thank
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
I think it'd be very helpful, and there may be an opportunity. in the future to
26.69.
travel the region and hear directly what it looks like on the ground.
With the chairman's permission, sir,
Let's
I
go
would
through
come
all
off of
these.
that, briefing
Yeah.
by General McKenzie, along with joint staff representation.
Yeah, we will definitely be following up on that. I mean, the issue of what we do going forward to deal with the counterterrorism threat out of South Asia.
I believe that's well within the weight tolerance. Point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I serve on both the House Armed Services Committee and
Yeah,
Intelligence Committee.
26.73 grams is what they were originally. So the 26.62 is just fine.
Bill McKenzie, you've taken in front of us full
26.34
responsibility for that. I have a
is
series of
0.4 grams
information that I
off,
would like
but
released to this committee so that we can adequately provide oversight.
there's wear on it.
On August 29th. What we know from your prior statements.
You
is
see
that
that
you did
the
not know who it
eagle's
was who was in the
breast
car, whose
doesn't
house
have
it was,
those feathers.
or who
So,
or how,
I mean, it's circulated,
people were in the house. This
and I
really
think that
concerns me.
accommodates
Look
for that.
over a variety
No,
of
thank you.
claims that the administration
That's my
has
first CC Morgan. I'll take it. I mean, what do you guys think?
Your goal was stated: thwart or disrupt an imminent attack. You killed an innocent man.
Still has
and an attack didn't happen.
some
There's
pretty
serious
good
questions
detail.
concerning both the information that you had and the manner in which the execution occurred. So I would request that it be released to this committee and the Intelligence Committee relevant video excerpts from the drones of August 29th, the protocols that were in place prior to the drone attack mission, the intelligence that an attack was imminent against our forces, and the approval, if any, of authorization to modify those protocols, including approvals for
All this stuff has to get logged.
including target engagement authority who approved.
Oh, Kellen, you're making us jealous.
And the data that the Secretary released.
I want to go to a coin shop with you, brother.
I just want to make it clear, Mr. Secretary, the fact that you have an IT investigation does not stop
2,
congressional oversight. I'll be sending
3.
you a
I'm
list
going
of
to
all
need
those.
4 of these. Okay.
We'll be providing those to us. They're certainly within the jurisdiction of our two committees.
Hey, Coins and Art, how are you?
I acknowledge, sir, and you are correct. There is a review.
That's right. Talk about. No, I'm not worried about the where. I think I paid a reasonable amount for this.
In front of the House and the Senate.
I will
You
take
have
it.
commented on the statements in the press concerning your phone conversation with your counterparts, General Lee in China. Let's be
Okay.
clear, to give you some help with the indignation,
Benjis
those
can
comments
stay in
were
the
press
flips.
because that's where you put them. Now you claim that you had.
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just sitting here watching this testimony, commenting on how just a show this is.
White House Chief of Staff, the National Security Advisor, the Secretary of
They're never going to reach,
either of the relevant
any
committees in the House,
measure of
including the
accountability
agencies,
for
you didn't tell
anyone
the
over there.
Intelligence Committee, you didn't tell
So
the Armed Services Committee.
I'm tempted to just turn off this political stuff and deal with the coinage.
Of the conversation heard. Not that China believed that we were going to imminently attack them, which, by the way, has never been true in my lifetime. And
All
it
right.
may be true since.
Thank you, Saka Plata. That was awesome, man. All right, so we got this Romania
But you chose instead to handle it
100 lay.
So, General Milley, you offered all of
This
the
is
concerning
cool.
intelligence, and I'm going to request that you provide it to us. I would like you to provide us the relevant intelligence information that you based your belief that China was going to believe that there was an imminent
Okay,
attack.
I'm gonna mark
I also
this
want
off.
Your request for
That off,
declassification
that
of the
off.
approval that you released that information that China believed so, including your request for declassification of your conversation that you had with General Lee and any approvals. I want a transcript of your call with General Lee, and I also want any readouts, memorandums, notice of calls, or outcomes. Now, you chose to talk to reporters instead of us, and that's great. That's a great concern. No one in Congress knew that one of two of the major nuclear powers thought that they were perhaps being threatened for attack. Mr. Secretary,
Here is
my
the
question is to you then. Mr. Secretary,
half-ounce polar bear,
if you learn
2018. This is
that Russia or China believes that they
very
may
nice.
be subject to an attack by the United States as a member of the president's cabinet.
I think all these Benjis I won. Thank you to all those people who put stuff in the jackpot. I know I do too, but you never expect to get it back.
Or do you believe
And when you do, it's just amazing.
a belief of the possibility of an attack by the United States against Russia and China is appropriately handled by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in a phone call with his counterpart with one of those nations? Please tell me that you believe it elevates to the level that you would elevate that to the cabinet
that doesn't
and
fit.
Congress, and not just have it be.
That's all right. It's gonna have
told to us all by
go
newspaper
somewhere.
articles in the Washington Post and the New York Times, as General Milley chose to do.
That one.
Thanks, sir. Obviously,
Coins and Art says, "Yeah, I don't get into politics. I'm not very knowledgeable on it, so that's the reason I don't speak on it." That's very wise. I'm pretty knowledgeable about it, but I usually don't speak about it because, it evokes powerful emotions in people. But I think for all intents and purposes, we all can agree on certain things politically. Like, we just want our politicians to not be corrupt,
Hold on just a second. Time has expired.
to
Turner is very clever.
look out for the people, that their job is to allow for people to have opportunity in their lives.
And then we'll move on to the next witness.
Okay, so this was a GAW. Cool. All
I
right.
have it right here.
And I got, okay,
I guarantee
4 of these Franklin were purchased. 1,
in the president's PDB,
2,
Vice
3,
President,
4,
DNI, Director CIA,
6. So I won 2. I don't know anybody in Wyoming.
And others. That was significant, and there was a lot of it.
And the
It wasn't just a singular
1964
report, there was a lot. I'll be happy to share it with you.
and
With you line by line.
1/10
And it
ounce.
was significant, and it was concerning to the point where Secretary of Defense.
20. Okay, so these were both GAW as well.
Davidson and myself-
Awesome! Everything is here and more.
And I was-
Thank you again, Saka Plata. Now I get all the fun work of logging it.
Assistant Secretary of Defense related to the affairs to make calls.
Wait, what's a fail?
Same thing. This is all done with oversight, and I try to lay that out in the memorandum.
Saka Plata says, I got a 1913 S Barber dime in a circulated roll, and it now belongs to Joe, LOL. Yeah, it's right here. It's.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I put it up earlier.
This is for your
Let's do it
service
again.
and testimony today. One comment, Mr. Chairman, before questions. Over the last month, including yesterday's.
You found that in a circulated roll. That's awesome.
The top claims that the U.S. had lost all credibility.
I think the best I've found in a circulated roll is
Last week, Mr. Chairman, we saw firsthand in
winged
Washington
Liberty
how
head,
certain that claim was.
Mercury dime.
Wednesday last week, I attended a ceremony over in the Senate with the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison.
Right?
Australia was proud
Yeah.
to go into Afghanistan.
Everybody's stressed out lately. All you have to do is just go for a drive, and
Thank the United States, particularly the
I see lots of craziness out there in the world.
who perished while safely
All right, so here we got a.
1,100 Australians.
Whew,
Boris
okay.
Johnson,
We're
last
calling-
week,
we're
who was
calling
also
these
in power
rosies
after
junk
the US
silver.
spending post withdrawal said, what I said to Joe Biden
So-
is how grateful I am for the amazing work of the U.S. military in helping us extricate.
Okay, I'm
15,000
having a brain fart, you guys. How many dimes are in a roll?
The U.S. military were heroic.
50, right?
Of course, they were
Okay,
in town to
I think it's 50.
enthusiastically endorse AUKUS, the new defense agreement in the Pacific, which, as Politico reported, despite all the hand-wringing over the last couple of weeks, was a powerful reminder that an American security guarantee with our allies still reigns supreme, and in the stroke of a pen has reaffirmed our engagement and collaboration with allies in a region that the national defense strategy
Print it
has
out all
identified as our
funky.
#1 priority. Secretary Austin, just want to follow up on the August 29th drone strike.
Okay,
and,
awesome.
and John McKenzie on the 17th.
Thanks, Kellen L.
thank you.
Yeah, sometimes,
Command,
wait, is it noon yet?
report, which
Okay, 10:50 over here, and
You also that day
I'm still drinking coffee.
a DOD follow-up investigation. Can you tell us-
Yeah, right? Coins and art, it does depend on that.
And what CENTCOM did.
I don't know why it's like I am still waking up, I guess. Okay, so Wonder Woman.
I
Wonder Woman.
directed a 3-star.
Do I have
review
Wonder Woman here?
Of the incident.
Yes, this is the Nui 2021.
All the
Okay,
things
so we'll
that,
just add this to what I already have. Oh man, I already have
Joe
3.
McKenzie and
All right,
his
well now I have 5.
team have done. But we'll look at the, soup to nuts, policy, procedures,
Plus,
whether or not we followed our own practices, our outline practices. And we'll certainly look at accountability as well. If somebody should be held accountable for something
Okay.
that they did that was outside of standard practice, and
10
we'll take a look.
times 10 equals 1 times
John
5
McKenzie, you mentioned on the 17th that the department is exploring.
equals
the
5
possibility
times 10 equals. Okay, Kellen L, why are you trying to confuse me?
compensation, for the individuals.
Saka Plata, thank you. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I could see that the tube's completely full, so I should have guessed that. I really appreciate that.
Used over in the past. However, in 2020, despite 23 civilians that were killed,
Let's see. Let's go
there was no
to our
payments made last
Morgans.
year. Can you give us some feeling that
I think I got
this
to,
is
even though this
decision to address this issue, which I think really is our
1878
platform.
cc It is cleaned.
I agree with you. I believe that
I think I still got a great price over at Sacaplata's auction. I paid $115 for it. Let's see here.
And whatever other measures may be contemplated in regard to that family. And I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. I just would reflect that that certainly is a high volume concern in my district.
How many of
General
these were?
Milley, again, we first met in
2,212,000.
Afghanistan, and I think many of us had that same experience of seeing you in country there, and certainly your service is something that I think should be unquestioned in commitment to our nation. In your testimony, you
Coins are no, please. This is hard work.
conditions that were put into place for the Taliban to perform.
This really isn't
1 out of the 8 actually have been
roughly cleaned.
up through,
This is the type of clean where someone in the past had a cloth and would just rub it. This isn't dipped or anything like that. It's got a little scratch in the neck, but nothing too bad. I mean, otherwise, I think this would definitely be in. I mean, the high points on the hair are worn down, for sure.
I apologize for the jump.
But otherwise, I think this would probably be in fine condition. Maybe like XF or VF, if anything. So, yeah. Coins and art, I'll tell you, I log this stuff for a couple of reasons. Mostly so I have a good idea of what I spent, you know, and value of my investment. But also in case something should happen to me.
Has the administration, as of today, secured any necessary agreements with
then my family knows what I have and how much at least I think it's worth.
To perform over-the-horizon counter-terror operations in landlocked Afghanistan?
Yeah, okay.
As of today, I have the ability to enter Afghanistan in the flying missions. It's a long haul in, but I have the ability to do that today.
But we don't have an agreement with.
Yep, the good old cloth clean. That's a bummer, I know. But, you know, I would consider the cloth clean to be a better type of cleaning than somebody using an abrasive. And hey, Ravenhawk Coins, good to see you, man. Someone using like an abrasive, like toothpaste or, you know, some other thing, or dipping it. You know, it still has its original luster for for a circulated coin. And it's starting to get a nice toning to it. But yeah, it's got those telltale signs of dirt marks there, you know, in the crevices. So, but hey, that's my first CC, so whatevs. But compare that with, you know, this here. I wonder if I can put it on this one better. This 1878.
Was it your professional military opinion and advice that we should abandon Bagram Air Base? And if not, was this decision forced on you by the arbitrary troop cap of roughly 650?
This was
Once the
1890.
decision was made on mid-April, 14 April, and we were.
I think I already have an 1890P. I do.
The troops down to a number that was only required to maintain an embassy.
No, I have two.
The Bagram decision was made at that point, because at that point there's no way you could defend both Bagram and H-Diet. One additional
come
point.
on now.
Most of the people that were required to be in a NEO were going to come out of Kabul.
Why don't you want to work with me here?
As Scotty Miller, General Miller has already testified to, Kaya was always going to be the center of gravity of any.
Oh, let's see. Let's look at this 1890 real quick, just for VAMs.
I'm going to ask General McKenzie a question. General McKenzie, had we kept
You gotta
control
hate
of
Fort
Bagram,
in the
what
crevices. Use
forces
lever
or what
2000 and get rid of all that dirt.
would have given US forces
Nah.
had that been in play?
I thought about logging my 4 in silver, says Kellen L. Then I took the lids of the boxes. Nope. I bet you have just too much.
Under the direction to go to zero. it would require a basic policy
Oh, Sakapata.
to change the plan.
That thing is awesome. I can't wait to get to that.
It is incompatible to hold any other base anywhere in the country.
So
So
this
that would be a policy decision to
Morgan
go out and hold Bagram under that case. Let me just further add that I did
here.
not see any tactical utility to Bagram.
I'm not seeing anything that would.
General McKenzie, isn't it true that the president rejected your best military opinion and advice as to how quickly to withdraw American troops?
Nothing that would indicate it being
I will say this: it has been my
any
view
significant VAM or anything like
I
that.
recommended a level of
But
2,500, a level
oh, that's the
that
1890. I'm sorry, the
allows
1890.
and other airfields
So
as well.
1890
Once
is
you
not.
go
I have a
below
VAM
that,
29A
it is no longer feasible to hold
that I
on.
picked up.
That was your best opinion and advice.
That remains my view now as it was then.
Thank you.
Okay, so
And
here's the 1890.
you said to hold Bagram would have taken 2,500 a minute ago. You said 5,000. It sounds like it was 2,500.
Well,
Ravenhawk Coin says, my friend inherited a coin collection, and before I could see it, he used silver polish and all the silver and ruined them. Oh my God. Hey, Rarest Find. Thanks for joining in. Kellen L. Has over 2,000 coins in his foreign silver collection. Yeah, good luck. That's why I started this log when I first started collecting, because I didn't want to have a backlog worth of work to do. So yeah, that's a lot of catch up, my friend. Oh, Ravenhawk, that's so sad. I wish he'd called you first. What a bummer.
Thank you so very much for your testimony.
Okay, hold on. We
Before I
gotta,
go further, I want to acknowledge an extraordinary effort and successful effort made by the U.S. military,
I've
by
got
the Air Force, and the most awesome and successful
space here, I
evacuation of
think.
civilians ever in the history of this world.
my superhero.
Very, very well done, and compliments to all involved in that. Obviously, the loss of
I thought the Millennium Falcons would be.
members of the military was a great tragedy. And you and all of us regret that. The fog of war is only repeated by the fog of defeat. And let me lay out some time frames here. In mid
There's my Wonder Woman. Okay.
Former President Trump ordered formal and direct U.S. Taliban negotiations without the Afghan government participating. In February 2020, August 2019, President
Goes
Trump
in there.
said that he would withdraw all U.S. troops as quickly as possible. In February 2020, the United States and the Taliban signed a formal agreement in which the United States committed to withdraw.
Yeah, that's so true, Sakaplata, who said, if only more people were transparent with the condition of the coins they make available. Yeah, for real, you know. I rarely have auctions these days, but that's why I have a scope up here, you know, like I want to be able to point out, you know, issues with that I see.
Brave men and women serving Afghanistan.
Yeah, we'll throw that up there.
Christmas. In November 17, 2020, then acting Secretary of Defense Miller announced that we will implement former President Trump's order to continue repositioning forces from Afghanistan. And the 2,500 U.S. troops will remain.
I got a FedEx guy out front, and
on January 15th,
he's been there for like a minute.
On January 20th,
so I don't know if he needs a signature or not. So we'll hang out.
2,500 troops were then in Afghanistan.
Oh, I'll be right back, guys.
President Biden announced his intention to continue the withdrawal of all regular U.S. troops by September 11th, 4 months after the pre-planned May 1st deadline. On July 2nd, Italy and Germany withdrew their troops. On July 17th, we have had specific testimony here on what then happened from July 17th on. And if I recall correctly, the Afghan government completely collapsed on the 20th of August. Wasn't there any longer. And from there, evacuation.
Oh, man.
General McKenzie, with the 25.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. So I got another package to open. Oh, man.
As agreed by with the Taliban. Were they there? accordance with the agreement.
It would have been, had we had.
Okay, where was I?
Which I stated was
Oh, yeah.
position. And as the secretary
Now-
has articulated, there would have been a clear risk that the Taliban would have begun to attack us as we
Okay.
moved past the 1
I'm still on Morgan's.
However,
The
it was my judgment
1880.
that would still give us a platform to continue negotiations with the Taliban to perhaps force a political solution. My
Hold on,
concern
excuse
was
me.
that if we withdrew below 25 and went to zero, that the Afghan military government would collapse. And of course, that's not a potential counterfactual. That is in fact what happened. So we have objective data to understand what happens if you go to zero.
Several of us attended a luncheon here in the Capitol in late June with President Ghani and Abdullah Abdullah. And they were very, very confident that they would be able to maintain.
Did you guys hear that?
through the,
Oops. Hey, archaeology, Mikey, how you doing? All right, we're gonna look at this 1880 real quick.
To do it, they needed continued financial support. They needed the necessary intelligence from the United States, and they also needed
Really,
to,
really nice
have
condition.
airstrikes, drone strikes. That was their promise. They also said that
Possibly
they did
dipped.
not want to allow Afghans to leave.
We'll check
That's
that in
what
a
they
moment.
specifically told us. They did
I'm
not
looking
want
for
Afghans
doubling
to
on the
leave.
stars or the
Obviously,
letters.
Ghani decided that he would leave.
Maybe the ear.
Um,
Any clash
Further
marks
questions?
or die breaks.
My time is expired.
This one is pretty clean.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman. Thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
that.
Gentlemen, thanks so much
Checking
for your
feathers
testimony
on a
today. General Lee,
reverse.
I want to begin with you, and I want to build on a
This is
question that Ranking
1880S.
Member Rogers asked. On August 18th, President Biden said that there's no way possible
Okay.
that U.S. troops could be withdrawn from Afghanistan.
Nope,
without
nothing
chaos
slipped
that
by
we saw unfold.
Psychoplata.
In your best military judgment,
It's got a filled
was
S
there a
there,
way
but
to extract the troops without the chaos that we
this
saw?
is probably just a regular strike here.
I want to be clear,
So
we're talking two different missions. The retrograde of the troops, the 2,500 everybody's talking about, those are advisors. That was complete by mid-July, and that was done actually without any significant incidents. That's the handover of 11 bases. The bringing
Yeah.
of a lot of equipment.
8.9
That was done
million
on
of
the
these
10th.
were made.
The non-combatant evacuation operation is different. Non-combatant operation, that was done under conditions of great volatility, great violence.
Yes. Oh man, what a great
We
price.
inserted 6,000 troops on relatively short notice because there was some contingent plans to do that. That's a different.
I mean, it's not
operation.
MS-65 or anything like that, but
That, as we saw, were not only chaotic but violent and high risk. But because of the skill and leadership of our troops, they were able to get control of a situation in the airfield.
It's got cartwheel.
Falling apart, and then execute the operation. So I think it would have been.
I mean, I would probably put this at like
MS-60
or MS-62.
In 48 hours, getting control of an airfield in another country, 8.5 times.
I understand that, but you're talking about a very compressed time frame. I'm talking about the
What would it
forward
be?
now, what you're looking at. You can talk about 2 missions, but I'm talking about in totality of what we're looking at there was a chaotic and disaggregated effort. It seems like to me that your professional military judgment would probably not have been focused in your recommendations in seeing this outcome. I just want to get your
My recommendations at the time, and my
There we go.
analysis at the time, were aligned actually with what you've heard from General Miller previously and General McKenzie. Flatline at about
Catch up here.
2,500 and go for a negotiated solution and make sure it's conditions based.
Huh? Psychoplata, you should be able to post links. Hold on a second. Let me get over to YouTube here real quick.
I would say that probably American citizens and the special immigrant visa holders would probably disagree.
If you're not blue, you should
Probably
be.
disagree with your assessment of a logistical success. That being said, I want to focus on the strategic failure aspect of that. You said yesterday that all you can do, and you just said it now, all you can do is provide your best advice, and it's up to the president to make the ultimate decision. In your best military judgment, did President Biden's decisions cause this strategic failure?
I think, as I said yesterday, first of all, I'm not going to judge a president. That's the job of the American people. It's the job of Congress.
I'm asking for your best military
Yeah,
judgment.
I mean, obviously,
My assessment is this is a 20-year war.
it's a 20-year war,
The president
exactly.
lost in the last 20 days or even 20 months. There's a cumulative effect to a series of strategic decisions that go way back.
Okay.
We knew where he was, we're 1,000 meters away, could have ended it.
Hey, Marley and T. Hold on, I'm gonna make some people blue here. So bear with me.
Not effectively dealing with Pakistan as a sanctuary. Major strategic issue that we're going to have to really unpack. The intelligence
Papa Giorgio, welcome.
3 or 4 years ago out of Candex, so we blinded ourselves to our ability to see the will, the morale, the leadership, the training. There's a whole series of.
All right, Sakaplata, you are blue.
I don't
Post
think
the link.
whenever you get some phenomenon like a war that is lost, and it has been, in the sense of we accomplished our strategic task of protecting America against Al Qaeda, but certainly the end state is a whole lot different than what we wanted. So whenever a phenomenon like that happens, there's an awful lot of causal factors. And we're gonna have to figure that out.
Get out of that. All right.
Thank you. And I want to build.
T is a bully. No. Only in the auctions.
Had a number of opportunities in your capacity as CENTCOM.
Yeah. Post one Pornhub link, gets banned. That's funny. All right. We're done with the Morgans and logging them. Marley and T, I have your package here. I haven't opened that yet. I'm so far behind. It's crazy. You guys, I forget, where did this alien, who minted this alien coin? Is this
Did you
Nui?
recognize that as the beginning of the weakness in the ISAF mission? And were there
No,
issues
Republic of
that
Ghana.
would have been
Okay.
his interest to Vice President Biden?
Republic of Ghana. And
I'm
Teats.
sorry, that's going to have to be a question for the record because the time has expired and the spirit is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your extraordinary.
That goes into my
service.
log, yes.
I want to just set the record straight on a couple of points. It was in 2017 that
And
then
Teats,
President Trump
alien.
relaxed rules of engagement for airstrikes, and there was a massive
That's a
increase
1
in
ounce.
civilian casualties. A
3.9 is fine, I
increase
believe.
during Trump's administration.
And I want it.
Compared to the
I want
previous
it.
10 years, there was a 95% increase in civilian deaths from 2017 to 2019. It was then President Trump who in mid-2018 ordered talks with the Taliban without the Afghani leadership. And it was in February 2020 when that formal agreement.
I know, you can't beat that.
Chairman Milley,
All right, that's going into the stack.
Taliban is a terrorist organization.
Okay. Then we have a 007. I paid for that. This is the new one, the new movie that came out, right? What is that called?
I have no personal invitation.
Something Die, I'm sure. Or what is it? No Time to Die? Is that the name of the movie?
This administration developed plans for withdrawal. Was there any handoff to you of those plans?
There was no handoff to me of any plans.
So then President Trump calls for
Tuvalu.
a full withdrawal by May 1st, 2021, and no plans had been made during his administration for withdrawal.
I would say that, I'm confident that General Miller.
Isn't it up to the generals to make plans for the withdrawal?
A decision one way or the other was making plans, and I certainly would defer to General McKenzie in terms of.
There you go.
Might have done, but in terms of handoff from administration to administration, secretary to secretary, there was no handoff.
All right. It's not true that on April 27th, President Biden, through
Hey, Jaji Music Man, how's it going? Coins and Art says, hey, Sharp Eye for Coins, have you seen my last community post? It's a warning for what I'm dealing with this silver furnace company. I wanted to get attention so others don't deal with the issues. No, I haven't seen that community post, Coins and Art. What's going on with the silver furnace? I have to admit, I don't know who the silver furnace company is, but what's going on? Or post a link to that post so we know. Okay, so 007 can go with Millennium Falcon.
How did that affect our intelligence gathering?
All right.
So there's two questions there. The first question, I think the DOAR agreement itself because of the nature of it.
Pretty
and this
sure I
is
have a
more 20/20
Canadian
hindsight,
polar
but,
bear around already, unless
now
I
believe that the Dar
sold
agreement
it.
itself perhaps undermined,
I did.
contributed to the undermining of the morale, confidence of the government because it was a bilateral agreement, etc.
Okay, I
But
did
having
sell
said
it.
that, there
All
were
right.
conditions built into
So
that,
we can just.
one of which was met, many of which were not. In the drawdown to 2,500 proceeded.
Maybe one day I'll do an auction again.
They weren't attacking us for being met. Drawdown to 2,500, the impact.
I kind of miss it. It's always a good time.
Morale, the will of the Afghan military. I believe that it was a
This
negative
is
impact. I
2018.
don't know that yet. We need to go through all of our intelligence and analyze it.
495.
and
This is
map
495,
out
right?
the
Yes.
impact
Okay.
on the
And
morale of the Afghans.
what did I pay?
General Milley, there's been a lot of talk about retaining 2,500 service members in Afghanistan. I think we all forget that there was a negotiation with the Taliban, and we would have to get them to agree to allow 2,500 troops to remain in the country.
See, this is what I don't get. If you have to negotiate with the Taliban before the withdrawal, then you're completely aware that the Taliban are a powerful political military force in the country. It's no surprise, it shouldn't be any surprise that this happened. Coins and Art has their eye on the Geiger you have right there. Yeah, it's just a, what is this, the 1 gram?
It has as
Yeah.
much to do with the morale.
She's pretty.
Keeping advisors with them and having.
I'm putting it up there just to show something. Maybe I should.
Going to
Here,
zero,
let's switch it with.
It's clear to me that one of the big lessons learned we have to unpack from the military side is the mirror imaging in the development of the Afghan military, and they became dependent upon our presence.
I apologize for Joe's time has expired.
Papa Giorgio says they're just a good old penny hunt. Sharp eye for coins. Yeah, right. You know, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, I've got to go meet up with the pizza guy today, and I'm gonna take him a box of pennies, and I owe him for a couple of auction wins, but he's not feeling that great, so I'm gonna just go to his house and pick him up. That's after lunch, though. Let's see here. So this is a world coin here. I gotta admit, I am not like Kellen L. I don't have too many world coins, but this is a Romania 100 lei. Does it lie? I do not know. From 1995. Oh, I don't know why my log did this. It's not gold. The heck?
I'm sorry. Could you get the microphone a little more in front of you there? Make sure it's on.
So this is a longer conversation. It's a VTC with General Lee, and there's a body of intelligence that leads up to it.
Okay.
That was persuasive. The Secretary asked for my.
We'll have to look into that. I have actually, I don't know the value of this coin. I'm gonna put it at $25. I don't know for sure though. I'm gonna have to look it up because that's one of those. I think I just bid on because it was I thought a reasonable price and I wanted a jackpot entry. You can't blame me for that, can you?
As part of that conversation,
I guess you can.
said, General Lee, it's not going to be a war. It's not going to be attacked.
Because I usually know the coin before I bid on it, but this time I didn't. I did not. I meant it. So I do have a world coin box here. Some other ones.
I understand your intent, but I think you articulating that you would tell him, you would give him a call.
That's a trade dollar.
I just think that's against
those are
our
generics.
country. You would give our #1 adversary that information and tell him that.
Yep.
But I'd like to go on to
Here it is.
Austin and ask you a question.
Oh boy.
According to President Biden,
That's
he
tight.
chose you to serve as his defense secretary primarily because that you
Okay, I
oversaw
think
the full withdrawal of U.S. forces in
this one is completely
from
full.
Iraq. But ironically, the 2011 Iraq
This one's done. Deep storage. Now, okay.
And a humanitarian crisis.
Oh, Palmer, coin hunters in the house. How's it going?
The 2011 U.S.
Let's see.
military exit from Iraq was short-lived, with President Obama redeploying U.S.
Wait,
forces.
I'm
into
sorry, I
Iraq
missed a
in
couple
Syria in
things in
2014
chat.
to defeat
Coins R says Marlene T.
Despite the administration's
Wait,
reassurance,
Marlene T says world
seems
coins
that
are an
the aviation
overlooked
is the central
market.
trajectory in Afghanistan.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's good, right? Don't tell anybody. Kellen L will get mad.
Taliban quickly took over the base and released 5 to 7
I've really got to do more research about world coins so I can, cherry pick too. Right now, I cherry pick Morgan's as much as I can. So we've got a 2019 rectangular Year of the Dragon coin.
In recent weeks, the Taliban has
And
irrelevant. Barred women and girls
I would have that under bullion coins.
committed horrific retaliatory attacks on members of Afghan security forces and interpreters, and established suicide bomber schools within the country. We also know that Al Qaeda and ISIS-K both have reestablished a presence within the country. Even before the U.S. withdrew, ISIS-K claimed credit for suicide bombing, which you have mentioned, took the lives of 13 service members on August 23rd. So, Secretary Austin, is it true that the suicide bomber who attacked the Kabul airport on August 23rd was a CIA prisoner at the Bagram Air Base, whom the Taliban released after Biden's administration left Bagram in July?
Let me just say a couple of things. First, on why the president selected me or nominated me to be his Secretary of Defense, you'd have to certainly go back to the president and ask him specifically why he did that. But it wasn't, I'm sure, solely based upon.
Second Plaza says, indeed they are. I recently acquired a Puerto Rican peso for 1/3 of market value. Early birthday gift to myself. That's awesome. You gotta treat yourself sometimes.
The United States military is in Iraq.
In 4 seconds, could you answer my question?
So Coins and Art is going back to that
I'll take the question for the record.
furnace. What was it? Southern furnace? And I think I missed.
Generally, I don't see eye to eye with many generals, and certainly General Milley and I.
New healing element, and it worked for 1.5 hours and broke again. Oh man.
It's nature to accuse a member of the military that they would tip off our opposition in any way. And I'd like to give General Milley an opportunity to respond to that. If
I'll check out. Thanks for sharing that link, Coins and Art. I'll check it out. I've got these windows that are under lifetime warranty, and I've been trying for 2 years now to get some of the panes replaced because it's got a broken seal, and they were brand new windows, and it's been 2 years, and they keep saying, "Oh, they're on order. Oh, they're on order." So I know about getting ripped off. I'm sorry, man. I hope it gets.
The Chinese in order to persuade them to do that. I would never tip.
I hope it gets resolved.
Any kind of surprise thing that we were going to do. That's a different context than that conversation.
Thank you, General. Thank you to all 3 witnesses for taking the time to testify today. Obviously,
Kellen L has heard about people getting foreign gold out of foreign bins. Wow. Wow.
The conditions for peaceful and stable Afghanistan cannot be created. That is why I believe President Biden made the right decision to withdraw.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Benjis. These I'm classifying as junk silver. So I'm not going to log each one individually.
Our troops for task effort to evacuate
We'll just add it to
allies, Afghan citizens, and everyone threatened by Taliban. I still believe we have a moral imperative to help those us in Afghanistan. And I and many of us will be putting in our power to continue to do that. I have some questions to begin with. General Milley, your testimony, the speed and scope of the collapse of the Afghan army and the government was a surprise. Yet the Taliban was clearly gaining ground June and especially July before their arrival in Kabul.
Those are 90%.
Future Afghanistan, but also think about our operations across the globe. What lessons specific to our intelligence gathering and analysis do you think DoD can learn from this experience?
What do these weigh, you guys?
Do you think it's time for a
Let's see here.
Within the department about how to assess intelligence in a very rapidly changing environment?
I do. I think I don't know the full answer yet, but I think that the primary reason we missed it was because we essentially cannot, and you have yet to develop a really effective technique to read people's hearts, their will, their mind. Their
Oh, please, why don't you follow the money?
The moral is to
Read their hearts. Okay, it's easy. Where's all the money going?
When we pull our advice,
Oversight.
Organization.
Oh, what a bunch of BS this guy is espousing.
Fingertip touch for that intangible of war. We can count the
All right,
the trucks and the
12.5
guns and the
grams.
units and all that. We can watch that from different techniques, but we can't measure a human heart from a machine. You got to be there to do that, and I think that was probably one of the more significant contributing factors to missing the deterioration in the morale of the Afghan army.
And I guess one of the things that I'm deeply disturbed by, and this can be either to, John McKinsey or also Sir Charles can jump in.
When there's corruption, all you have to do is follow the money.
That have served for
Sorry.
decades in and out of Afghanistan, they were always telling me something extremely different from what I was getting from reports from many of you generals here, that the Afghan army was not ready, that they were not going to be sustainable on their own. And so that, how did we miss that? How is it that a lot of, 18, 19-year-old, mid-20-year-old E5s were predicting this, but yet some of our greatest minds, both on civilian side and...
Coins and Art says, no, it's almost 11:30. I have a doctor appointment at noon. Gotta run. Hey, you have an awesome day too, Coins and Art. Hope everything's okay. Kellen out says, I bought a scale off eBay. It was off by 8 ones when I got it. Emailed them and had a reply in 10 minutes. Oh, that's cool. You got to really appreciate a good business like that. They stand behind their products.
We'll have to take a look.
Remain connected to the people at the advisory level. Sacaplata will appreciate this.
I'm conflicted by that as well. I'll be very candid with you. And we will certainly take a look at that. Because I've heard the same strain myself.
I ended up picking up
we perhaps need to look at ways to ensure that that's conveyed
some of these.
I'll accept that criticism.
Because I thought they were cool. He kind of gave us the heads up. It's upside down. He gave us the heads up on one of his auctions from Reckless Metals, which I think is a great website. They do some really cool work. And these are the 1/10 ounce silver.
Into that country on August the 13th.
And I thought they were really cool.
September the 29th. We need to get them.
Problem is, I ordered 15 of them, and I got 14. So let's see what happens when I email them.
To move them. And I'm asking all three of you for your help in addressing the issue. Secretary Austin.
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
Acknowledge, sir, and we will.
I figure, they're kind of high premium, 1/10 ounce silver, but when I get back to auctions and stuff, they'd be cool for giveaways and whatnot. So let's see here. These are all logged.
We had people in Uzbekistan. The State Department ignored them as well and said they would get to them when they got to them. We have a lady in Tajikistan that's 9 months pregnant. That's one of our pilots, and we need help removing that. We also need to make it clear to Uzbekistan.
I have way too many Kennedy half dollars. Doesn't everybody though?
And it is not to be returned to Afghanistan. And so I would appreciate if we could put that in writing to both of those countries that the equipment belongs to the U.S., not to Afghanistan. With that said, I appreciate your commitment to help. I do want to mention one thing, Secretary.
All right, Marley and T. Hey, thanks for dropping in. I'm going to be doing your package here next. So thank you again for sending it. I'm excited to open it up.
That's correct.
We had provided a list of names.
I know this is the most boring stream in the world.
Central Command to
logging
everybody we knew to get it.
My items here.
And yet our people were not allowed into.
This is Golden State Mint.
They were at the gates.
Quarter ounce.
They were not allowed into HKI, even though they were on the manifest. And yet so many people came out of the country that appeared not to be on the manifest.
Thank you, Marlene T. trying to make me feel better.
Determination made and who got on the plane.
Let's see here, Franklin. It's more of a hangout. So let's
speak to the exact processes that existed.
Did I win this?
I
think I won this, Sakapata.
People were sorted out.
If you're still
I
here.
can tell you that we tried very, very hard to get everybody that we possibly could out, especially American citizens and SIV.
That's awesome. Thank you to whoever donated
we
that.
also owed it to our partners to help them get some of their people out as well. And they helped us with some security issues and other things while we were there.
Sit there and personal time, but I will tell you, I do think that the question is going to linger and that the committee wants answers on because we have P1, P2 SIVs that were left behind and other people that were not or should not have been on the manifest seem to have gotten out.
Well, I would just tell you, we're going to continue to work to try to get as many out as we can. In the last 48 hours, I think we've brought out an additional 63 American citizens.
What is going on here? Oh, your Discord name is Tbag7019. That's hilarious. All right. We've got to log this 1913S Barber Dime. I think I have a Barber.
What date in April was that?
Do I have a Barber
Mid-April
book?
When did we inform our partner forces that we had a change in mission and that we were going to retrograde from the 2,500 down to 650?
I do.
Immediately.
Okay.
And
outreach both to President Ghani and
guess what's not in it? A 1913S.
Very quick. Was the 650 included in the 2,500?
So guess what's going in that spot? Thank you, Saka Plata.
So it would have been a total of 3,150.
No. When we went from 2,500 down to infected 0, we said we would keep 650.
They went from 25. Gentleman sign has extracted. They went from 2,500.
All right. Slot filled. That's right. Woohoo.
Capabilities were different. They were different forces to do different things.
Crucial point. Thank you. Mr. Moulton. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Milley and Secretary Austin, my first question to you at our hearing on June 23rd was
fit in there nicely.
The evacuation of our allies already. You responded that we have a quote moral imperative to save the Afghans who work by our side. Secretary Austin, you said earlier today that moving to
I know. I've got a sad book here. Okay, I don't really focus on the Liberty Head dimes. But hey, one day when the Winged Liberty Head dime book is filled. All right, let's get to the last two
provided the advice necessary at the time. I think yes.
items here. We got to get
I think you
to.
heard me say in my opening comments that we engaged state
Julian.
early on to provide input to their decision-making process on when to move the SIVs. And
I understand that, Mr. Secretary. You said that you and the State Department followed the advice of the Ghani government that taking out SIVs would precipitate a government collapse. Yet the vast majority of these heroes weren't even working for us or the government anymore. They supported a force of up to 100,000 U.S. troops over 20 years.
This is a 1 gram.
500 troops left. So why on earth did you trust President Ghani?
again, that's my decision. To your point.
Hey, Hoover's Corgus and Coin, how are ya?
But it's not as if I was influenced by President Ghani.
I understand, Mr.
Yeah, Judge, he is always good. It makes me feel like I accomplished something.
What responsibility do you have?
All right, so the 1 gram Geiger
with our troops
is 4.9's fine.
I have a responsibility to get out as many as I can.
And I think that costs, 70, was it 75?
Everyone that I can.
I should have.
General McKenzie, there are deal.
Oh, 96. That's okay. I spent a little bit too much, but it's okay. You get it back.
Then had to ramp them back up after the Taliban gained ground. There are also reports that you sat down with the Taliban leadership in August through a circle around Kabul and told them that if the Taliban fighters went inside that circle,
circles, they would get.
And then,
So,
as Sakaplata says, for the main event.
beginning of May, and then at the end of our
Okay.
right when we should
That
have
would
taken
be
order to give Americans and Afghan partners time to evacuate.
Let's see here. We got a
report about me meeting with Taliban.
And then,
Is simply factually incorrect.
Okay, what about May?
In May, as through the rest of our pre-deployment period.
this is a 1980.
Those strikes, however, were limited to support of Afghan forces in close
What has
combat.
been like 900 on it? 955.
Resources that we've had in the past.
Would you say that's
While
worth?
effective in certain tactical situations,
You know, sharp 5 coins. I'm living. LOL. Aren't we all?
You went from 2,500 troops in Afghanistan in April to 6,000.
I think I paid a fair price on this.
And then turned around and put 5,000 back into Kabul. And you said repeatedly.
I think it's worth what I paid.
Fall if we didn't maintain a certain number of troops in the country. So why didn't you plan for an evacuation and leave enough troops on the ground to conduct it?
So let's be very clear. The evacuation has to be ordered by the Department of State.
All right.
The drawdown of U.S. forces was ordered by the President in April and completed in July. The non-combatant evacuation operation is a separate mission and was not completely under control of the
So you're going to fall back on the bureaucracy, the divide between DOD and state.
Representative, I'm going to fall back
all
on
of
the
those
orders that
troops
I
out and then had to put more back in.
I'm going to fall back on the orders that I received, Representative.
Secretary Austin, you presided in part over the withdrawal of forces from Iraq, though I know you at times requested more troops on the ground. 2 years later, we had to send thousands of troops back into Iraq. Do you believe we will ever have to send troops back into Afghanistan?
Well, I certainly wanted to engage in a hypothetical. I would just say that obviously that's a decision that has to be made by the president. You know, while I won't rule anything out, I would just say it's not preordained that we will go back or have to go back into Afghanistan again. But if we do, the military will provide good, credible options to be able to do that and to be effective. On the strikes,
Gentlemen, you and your
Nice.
predecessors asked tens of thousands of young Americans to fight in
Design looked good.
And they did.
It's been
Thousands died. Now you keep saying
loved.
our troops should be proud of that. Well, here's a question.
Beautiful.
sent to me
Oh,
by
I almost forgot these. Oh,
20 years, our troops
Okay.
on the ground never
1
lost
gram
a single
Pamp
battle,
Swiss.
yet we lost the war.
The gentleman's
I know I have 2.5 gram Pamp Swiss.
Gentleman's time passes, so what is left to be proud of? Seth?
We're trying to run the meeting. If you wanted to read that letter, you should have read it in the first 5 minutes of the time.
Well, somebody's
So,
going off
I
here.
think it's something we need to hear. It's something we should have heard during the 5 minutes that you had. Gentleman's time has expired. Ms. Stefanik is recognized. She is appearing virtually. Ms. Stefanik, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Smith.
This is
I
why I
want to
spent a
first
little
start
bit
off
too
by
much on it.
saying that I'm honored and privileged to represent Fort Bragg, Division, the most deployed division in the U.S. Army since 9/11. And I want to take this opportunity to thank every soldier, every serviceman and woman for deployment after deployment after the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
The North Country.
20 years. You know, I feel really bad because honestly,
are forever grateful for your service and sacrifice of you and your families.
it really comes down to it.
The first question
It's our fault for letting it go on for 20 years. It's our fault.
Force protection efforts at the Hamid Karzai International Airport. Force protection efforts were made specifically
Got
as
that
the ISIS
logged.
threat intelligence came in before.
We got another 20 gram Geiger here.
Representative, first of all, the 10th Mountain was.
You know, I knew, I mean, 20 years, come on. You know, there's more I could have done. Right, senators, letters,
So we look at that every day. And as you know,
comment, protests, you know, making it alive in people's minds that it's BS.
Turns out that they were
Ultimately, it's when you really think about it, some total of blame that rests on all of our shoulders.
Taliban elements owned to prevent, or perhaps the Taliban were able to prevent those by the outer coordinate they established. But force protection was a key thing that we balanced throughout the entire operation, and we thought the risk was very high at all times. Again, principally.
Oh, that's not a, no wonder I couldn't find it. It's not a world coin.
I'm going to follow up. We depended upon the Taliban for security to get the evacuees and Americans behind enemy lines into the airport. Did the United States or coalition forces provide money,
There we go.
any form of payment or assistance to the Taliban to
I'm going to catch up on chat here in a second.
Americans as the security environment in Kabul deteriorated?
No, we did not. What we did was we asked the Taliban to establish a cordon about 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer beyond each of the gates, where we could reduce the number of people that were coming down and showing up at the gates, so we wouldn't have the possibility of a mass attack. They did that. They were not compensated.
Oh, you good. You guys are just hanging out, saying hi and stuff. Cool. All right, and then the last thing is this Celtic Rabbit 2021.
Thank you,
This
General
is
McKenzie.
awesome.
And Secretary Austin, I just want to get this
It's the Republic of
on
Chad.
record in addition to General McKenzie's answer. So there was no form of payment by the U.S.
That's
or
pretty
coalition
cool.
forces
All right.
at any time during the evacuation to the Taliban.
To my knowledge, there was none.
And Chairman Milley?
I have no knowledge of any money that transmitted from any element of the United States government to the Taliban whatsoever.
What? What?
My next question is, we are 20 years.
Whoa!
The
How could you not be aware?
Obviously, from the state of New York, and it is a very, very solemn occasion for all Americans, but particularly New Yorkers, every year as we commemorate that date. I would like to get your assessment. Is the terrorist threat from Afghanistan greater today or lesser than it was pre-9/11? I'll start with you, Chairman Miller.
I think right this minute it is lesser than it was in 9/11. However, I think the conditions are set or could be set, and I testified to this yesterday and say it again. I've said it public many times. The conditions could be set for a reconstitution of Al Qaeda and or ISIS, and I gave some specific times in my statement, and I stand by those. I think that the real possibility.
It's
6, 12, 18.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, I think right now we are not in any position. We're out, and there's 2 more coins.
Secretary Austin,
This is a
your
world
response to that
coin
question?
from Israel.
I would agree.
Being out is what I would say is the most important.
Now, terrorist organizations seek ungoverned spaces so that
This war on terror is just more money to the military-industrial complex.
And so there is clearly a possibility that can happen here going forward. Our goal is to maintain a laser-like focus on this so that it doesn't happen.
How about we focus on equality?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to all our witnesses that are here today. And I want to start by one of the things I like about this committee is that we're pretty bipartisan. But every once in a while, the partisan beast comes out. And I'm sure it happens from both sides of the aisle. This is my 3rd term here. Administration from the other party, not in power.
Here. Oh yeah, hey Paula, how are you? Yeah, I'm watching the lies and propaganda here. It's pretty disgusting. But it's not like I didn't expect it.
One can argue that
Hold
the
on.
agreement that
I'm gonna throw this out here again.
reached with the terrorist Taliban in February 2020 was less than perfect, and we should call that from both sides of the aisle. We can
You guys
also
feel free to
argue
join.
that
Hey, big country!
from
Great to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in. So this Australia $10 proof is the next one and the last one. This is the 100-year anniversary of the Royal Fleet, I believe, or the first fleet.
A little bit of light on and refresh some of the memory on some of the numbers going back a little way. So General Milley, I want to make sure that I understand our troop levels.
I think that's such a fair price. Unbelievable. $40.
signed by President Trump
Back,
between
beautiful
February
coin.
2020.
All right.
Agreement with the Taliban
Holy
signed
moly.
To January 2021.
Here, we'll open up this.
The United States withdraw from
Try to wait for Marley and T if she's gonna pop back in.
How
All
many
this stuff
troops were
goes
withdrawn
back
from
into
February
goes into
2017 to January 2020.
deep storage.
12,600 U.S. troops when the Doha agreement was signed on that day.
Gold.
2,000
Can you repeat that again?
Which we really need.
12,000
I need more gold.
U.S. troops.
This is gonna go into
29
junk
February
silver.
2020.
This goes into deep storage.
8,000 NATO.
Okay, we can do the junk silver later.
10,500 contractors and contractors.
Holy work. Oh, Marley and T is here. Well, let's do this. So I did a trade with Marley and T for money, for fiat currency. Where is it? She sent me this honkin' package here. She says, I'm sorry in advance for all the tape. Oh, it's okay. I can get past it. I'll try to be careful
Over the course of the 20
here.
years in Afghanistan, the United
So this was
Special Inspector
on
General of
EC's
Afghanistan
trade day, I think, when we
estimates
did
that the
this.
United States spent $83 billion equipping
And
its
she
troops
packs
in Afghanistan National Defense and
everything securely as well.
which included almost $10 billion in
Okay.
aircraft and vehicles.
It was just that one, right? Okay. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything else in there.
The Afghan military folded under
All right. Whew.
What do U.S. training
I don't think I wrote down exactly. It's very unusual for me as a purchaser of items to not use a secure method of payment, but it's Marley and T. So generally, I have like a invoice, a PayPal invoice, where I have all the items, like with Saca Plata, you know, and I can go through and write everything down. In this case, I think I only have an email.
The security forces fractures and essentially evaporate. So we need to look at ourselves to see, you know, what we do.
So
That's the right thing to do.
I'll find it somewhere. Right now, we'll just unpack. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Swear away. I'm not monetized, Paula. Anybody's welcome to come up. I figure one day I'll care about. Maybe I'll care about that, but today is not that day. Oh yeah, Marley and T does not mess around. Holy moly. Okay. We're now on layer 3.
Thank you.
Holy.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you all for being here today.
All right, we're getting closer to the coins now, so
Begin to get through in 5 minutes, but let's jump right in.
yes, absolutely right, Paula. You know, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine just the other day about Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, who personally I feel are real patriots for doing the right thing and standing up against government corruption. And the people that they exposed for their corruption and crimes are walking around scot-free. And Edward Snowden is in Russia, an outcast, and Julian Assange his life is completely ruined. He's basically a journalist, you know, and that's what these people do. You know, they destroy the lives of the people who expose their corruption, just like that Marine you're talking about. And these guys are sitting here continuing and propagating their bullshit lies. And at some point, there's got to be some accountability. And it doesn't matter what party you are. You know, you guys know me. I am a pretty open-minded independent. Holy, all right, we're moving on to layer 4 now, Marlene T. Oh boy. So we got another layer. I know. I'm just saying as an example.
Because we wanted them to be successful, and they could not. Without the appropriate. They're watching these hearings yesterday.
Stuart Scheller, didn't he expose all this through the Afghani papers? If I remember that story right, you can correct me if I'm getting that mixed up.
We can probably all agree to. General Milley, you started today, and
he did say prostituting.
Your commitment to your
okay. Whew, I'm getting a workout. Oh boy, okay. Oh, thank you for sending these in capsules, Marlene T.
Okay, and Senator Blackwood yesterday asked you about your conversations with several.
Thank you so much. And, these Disney ones are going to my daughter. Yeah, I would say so. Holy moly. Okay. I think if you charged labor on it, I mean, that's like a $50 packing job. Is there something in here? I think there is. Wow. Okay. Attention.
I haven't seen the transcript.
Thank you for putting attention on there. Otherwise, I might have thought it was just packing stuff.
There's a lot of disparaging comments made.
Oh, look at that.
And my focus was to assure her that the nuclear system and weapons were under control.
And according to Costa and Woodward, she went on to say, he's crazy. He's been crazy for a long time. To which they say, and I'm sure you haven't had a chance to read the book yet, Milley responded, Madam.
Hey, thanks for sharing that, Paula. So we've got Bashful, Sneezy,
by agreeing with the speaker that your commander-in-chief is crazy.
And Doc,
I'm not qualified
and Happy.
What I'm agreeing to is that we have to have secure nuclear.
So these are all going to the little one.
Have you had any conversation with the speaker or any of our foreign leaders about our current
one of her favorite rides at Disney was the Seven Dwarfs Mineshaft ride. We've got an Australian Kookaburra, 2012. That is untouched. Beautiful.
My answer would be the same. I'm not qualified.
Generic Buffalo Silver Round. I needed one of those. One more. We've got a Mandalay Bay gaming token.
No, I didn't.
Awesome.
What I said to the
Is that two of them?
Was I guarantee you.
Oh, the other one is Circus Hotel and Casino. We've got Tea Party Dollar Copper Round.
In order to protect American
2009. And another gaming token. This one is Caesar's Palace. The centers of those are silver.
Mr. Brown is recognized. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
A quarter ounce.
My questions have been asked.
American Silver Eagle generic.
I'll use this seldom opportunity with the two most senior
$10 2008
we cannot ask our men and women
Liberty coin.
And I commend President Biden.
Where is this from?
Reality and bringing our troops home. But we know the threats facing our country aren't solely on distant battlefields. For decades, we've grappled with extremist ideologies within our own civilian communities and our military ranks. And there are no signs that we're winning this fight. As FBI director,
yeah, Grumpy was bringing everybody down.
January 6th was not an isolated event. Director Ray stated the problem of domestic extremism has been metastasizing across the country for a long time now, and it's not going away anytime soon. We know now that 12% of those charged in the riot on the Capitol have military experience, with at least one indicted rioter.
Beautiful.
On active military duty.
Right. And what do we have in these packages?
The last time you both.
I really appreciate you taking the time to protect all of these. Oh, these are the
from private to general.
Pores. I forgot about those. Awesome. Yeah, Marley. I mean, thank you so much, Marley and T. You know,
This past February to deal with
I haven't frequently run into bad packing. Look at this.
in April.
That is funny.
Committee hearing, STRATCOM Commander Admiral Richard said he was, quote, very confident.
I think it's upside down.
Extremists in my forces in the field. And at the same hearing, General Dickinson, Commander of Space Command.
No, it was right. It was right.
In the formations that I've had throughout my career.
That is some funny stuff right there.
So I believe it's close to zero in my order.
Paula says, I can't stay, Joe, but have a great day. Love you, my friend. Same here, Paula. Thanks for dropping in. And no worries. I'm not going anywhere. Just trying to get this work done.
While you were in uniform, the Army CID 2020 domestic extremist activity threat assessment found.
I feel so much better not having this stuff in the house. So it gets logged, it goes away. Oh, look at that.
October of 2020.
This is nice. Hey, Marley and T, who did these? Is this you?
Military personnel. We have a problem, the scope of which we don't fully understand. But Democrats and Republicans have asked the department.
That is cute.
Improve screening processes and the status report.
That is cute. I think the little one is gonna take that one from me too.
Which is why just last week the House passed.
Thanks again, Marley and T. Let's see here. Oh man, I have like 30 emails
so I was extremely
to go through.
To see the administration's statement of policy, which opposes the countering extremism provisions in the NDAA, citing overburdensome training and data collection requirements. Not a single sentence suggesting how to improve the provisions, just opposition to Congress. Congress is about to authorize and appropriate $768 billion to the department, nearly $25 billion more than the president's budget request. Yet the administration views additional data collection and training.
When is that coming out?
The threat of extremism as onerous. We heard the same pushback when it came to addressing sexual.
Okay, October 7th. I'm sorry, I just got an email from the U.S. Mint just reminding me about the 2021 American Gold Eagle uncirculated coin coming out October 7th. So I've got some time to research that.
Whether it's sexual assault or racial injustice, the department repeatedly tells Congress, we can handle it, commanders are responsible, we're studying it, we're ready to fight tonight. We cannot wait years, let alone decades, in the face of obstinance from the department before meeting the challenges of extremism in the armed forces. The time to address it is now.
So I thought they were here to talk about Afghanistan, and now they're talking about surveying the troops or something for their beliefs.
Operations. We've got to care for troops and families, and that includes combating extremism in your formations in a way that we can take care of our troops and secure the nation. So please stop fighting Congress. Partner with us and accept the tools that you need to fix the problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move back to balancing my time.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank y'all for being here. And Chairman Milley, I just want to start. I understand the conversation with the Chinese leader. What I don't understand is you going to the press.
There we go.
That disappoints me. That you.
I was looking for the list that Marley was so awesome to put together for me.
I'm not okay with you talking to the press or authors. I want to talk just a little bit about Bagram. There's 2 runways at Bagram.
Y'all don't want me making hand pours. Hold on, I gotta catch up on chat. I know. I've been on my computer here.
2 runways versus 1.
Oh, you can't remember? All right, that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, Saka Plata has to head out. I love my items, man. Thank you again. You know, I'll see you on Friday too.
Now I want to talk a little bit about the strike on August the 29th, I think. Who set the rules of engagement?
Me first, Hoover.
What were the rules of engagement? At what level?
Oh, wait, that's not what you meant?
No, I don't want to know what the rules of engagement were. I want to know whose rules of engagement were. was that president?
Oh man, I hate when I.
Austin was that CENTCOM.
They are wholly neutral as to the party.
Wait, hold on a second. I don't remember this. It says,
The New York Times article on March 3rd described a policy change of the Biden administration that placed greater restrictions on drone strikes and raids.
too far for the lap dance, I'm afraid. Marley, did I say that to you?
These operations now require.
Oh boy.
Did the strike on August
I must have been trying.
The one that killed 10 innocents.
So, let's see here. Hand-poured unicorn at 39.9 grams. Googly eyes at 30.9 grams. 1981 worldwide mint. Quarter ounce. Got it.
At what level?
Disney Browns. Got him. Kookaburra, Buffalo, Mandalay Bay Circus, Caesar's Palace.
General McKenzie,
1/5 ounce fine silver round, and the Tea Party dollar. Awesome. All here, all accounted for. I am not going to log it right now, but I will after I open up these. Oh, hey, thanks for putting that in there. Oh my, sir, says Hoover. No, it's all there. Thank you so much, Marlene T. Excellent packing job. This thing here is from the New Zealand Mint. Finally got something from the New Zealand Mint. Since they have not been allowed to even be in their they haven't been allowed to even be in their shop or warehouse because of the draconian COVID measures that were taken. But I guess they finally were allowed back in. So I'm really happy with this. The lap dance was extra, she says. Oh no, not packing peanuts. Oh, I hate these. Okay, so guys, don't hate me. Just please don't hate me. I had to do this. I just had to. I had to order a couple of these. So, I know it's silly.
I want to make sure we get the level and that the rules of engagement were proper.
Star Wars, Mandalorian, Seasons, Greetings, coin. Let's open it up.
To show we had over the horizon capabilities, and we did. Because we reported a secondary explosion that was not.
It's got
stuff. Now my next question.
Baby Yoda.
Who did we kill?
I just had to. It's a Christmas ornament. Wait, hold on. Let me move the dwarves.
HVT or just a low level terror?
We got to get 3 more. So it's a Christmas ornament. You know, here's the little string you put on there.
In a classified, I'd like to know that. And then my next question is, I just don't understand. I guess maybe I went to Union Public House.
Does this light help? A little bit. Show some of the colors on it.
15,000 U.S. citizens, 5,400 ounce.
So they made 2,021 of these.
We had people calling us wanting to get out, U.S. citizens that were not allowed to get
and it says Galaxy's Greetings.
And with that, I just ask guys, we got to get our folks home. I yield back.
Joy to the galaxy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It's a really cool book kind of case as well.
2 years of service.
Okay, Grogu. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bo Palmer, thank you. I apologize. I'm saying Baby Yoda. It's not Yoda at all. I know. When's the next season of Mandalorian coming out? That's what I'm wondering. I'm running out of stuff to watch.
For ending America's longest war.
Although I will say Goliath has been a great season so far.
Now, Secretary Austin, you've testified.
In case you guys don't know about that, it's got Billy Bob Thornton, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he just, you know, he plays himself in this basically, if he were a great lawyer. So anyway.
It was 0 troops or potentially
Pretty cool. One for the holidays. Why not? One just maybe I'll auction off somewhere down the line. So we have to log this as well. Am I all out of packages to open? Nope. I got one from Copper Coins here, but I think I'll wait. I'll wait on the Copper Coins.
Appreciate that. I want to talk.
Hoover's, Corgus. I'll stick with you on Baby Yoda. It's easier to say than Grogu. I'm not even sure if it's Grogu or Grogu. It's Grogu, right? Hard O.
Pictures of the 7 children who were killed, along with the 3.
Oh, we might as well log these. That way I can get this stuff put away.
What America wants. This is something that we need to prevent in the future.
Okay.
Press Secretary Kirby, who did a fine job during those 10 days, said you would support evacuating these family members as they have requested and resettling them in the U.S. Is that correct?
It is.
My question is, can we get the families and the co-workers evacuated now and brought to safety, get the legal hoops?
I will say this about the New Zealand Mint. They have fantastic packaging.
Well, we'll continue to work through State Department channels to.
I mean, it's amazing. Wait, why did I put this in
certainly do everything we can to facilitate
where I did? Cut.
I hope we can just expedite that and expedite the compensation. It's the moral thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's how America conducts itself, and so I hope you will take that into consideration. General McKenzie, I admire and respect your leadership, but I want to.
I wish the U.S. Mint would take a hint. And I know it's about the coin, really, and not the packaging, but.
I'm sure you're aware. Is there any kind more common than a Yoda Corolla in Afghanistan?
I don't know, either so Baby Yoda is safer and cute. Yeah. John Jacobs, hey, welcome, man. He says, I found a 1958 D, a Blazer 1977 P, and a worn 1920 P Wheatie in one roll the other night. That's cool. It's funny, you know, like when I go through boxes of pennies, when you find, you know, something like that, you will find more in another roll. I found lots of like 50s, like real high quality Blazers with almost no circulation wear. It's like somebody just dumped them, you know, and the whole box was filled with them. It was cool. Oh, not 77, but a 57P. That's sweet. Oh, all right. Yeah. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. How much does this cost me? It's probably $100 a pop. Ooh, little steep. $109. That's the problem with the packaging. That is a problem with the packaging.
Thank you again to the 3 of you.
Is that it adds to this expense. But I'm wondering what these are selling for right now. If there's any up on eBay. Do you think they're sold out? I don't know. I kind of jumped on this as soon as they were released. So you can buy them right now for $130. There's one up for sale on eBay at $109 with 4 hours left, and nobody's bid on it. So, you know, it's one of those that'll probably not be in high demand. Yeah, they were selling them for $95. One sold for $130.
Would you like to break at 12:30, or would you like to?
So probably a little overpriced at the 109 mark, but still nice.
I think we're good for right now, Chairman.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
If,
how much?
If you need a break, just, you know.
We'll fire the Star Cluster.
We all have we all have overprotective aides who are like, you know, pounding on us. If you need a break, then you break. So I just figured I'd ask. So we will proceed, and I appreciate that. Gallagher.
I'm gonna put them at
Thank you.
value
Journal Kids in
of
Washington Post reported on August 28th that
probably
the Taliban
75
offered to allow the
apiece.
US military to take responsibility for security in Kabul. Did you meet with Mullah Baraki
We'll
to
see.
discuss
We'll see
the
how
offer?
as it gets closer to the holiday, how it turns out. Okay, we'll call that deep stack.
But did he offer to allow you to have security over
John Jacobs says the U.S. Mint is at the bottom of the best mints list. I know. You know, just going back to this 2021 ASE proof, I got 4 of them, and I'm telling you, not only is the packaging just cheap, it's just cheap, but the coins themselves are, you know, they're flawed. You know, here, let me get this unicorn off. You have to hide it before little one sees it. You see by the rays there.
I do know it was conveyed to my chain of command.
Okay. What do you, in military terms, what do you call the retreat of military forces under security provided by and with the permission?
See it? I know it's like hard with the glare here, but
I think you just did.
I disagree.
You disagree. So you did not.
That's not on the capsule.
Forces from Afghanistan after negotiations
Anyway,
with the Taliban.
That is correct.
our U.S. Mint.
So this would not be a conditional surrender.
Delivering coins with boogers on them.
What would you describe?
Thanks.
I would describe it as a non-combatant evacuation operation that we conducted with our
Okay,
own
let's
time.
throw something on here.
And we warned the Taliban that if they
That's for
interfered with
barley
that
and tea.
operation, we would strike them hard. They chose not to interfere with that operation.
Okay, so you're saying the meeting you had in Doha was just to let the Taliban know.
You know, absolutely nothing is going to come from this.
But you were
This
operating at that point under the
hearing. Absolutely nothing.
For surrender, right? The Doha agreement.
I was
Sorry.
there to tell the Taliban that we were conducting a non-combatant evacuation operation.
Wait. Not a NEO by DoD definition.
Okay.
Does not definitionally include the evacuation of combatants. You were also evacuating combatants, so the NEO is part of the operation.
Actually, no, you're wrong. When I met with the Taliban on 15 August, we had completed the withdrawal operation. Further forces that went in, the forces that were core to the NEO operation. And in fact, DoD doctrine would include the insertion and extraction of combatant forces as part of a NEO operation.
But what do we call the withdrawal of combatants, whether it happened before?
It can be called a retrograde. It can be called a regression.
Was it in your order?
So, in other words, tax dollars at waste. Absolutely. Well, I would say that Congress, in and of itself, represents tax dollars at waste. And really needs to go back to not being full-time positions. I would love to see part-time Congress.
Which I believe the definition is a repositioning of forces.
And,
I would call it
you know,
surrender, I guess we'll have to check.
actually make them do work
Just to go to something
as opposed to having lobbyists write all the bills.
Has Al Qaeda sworn bayat to the Taliban?
Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
But have they sworn bayat? Yes.
I couldn't answer that question for you right now.
Oh, I believe General Milley said it before. Has the Taliban renounced the previous oath that Al Qaeda?
The Taliban and Al Qaeda have a very close relationship, and I do not expect the Taliban.
You can express so much with an emoji.
Which is, I think, a question.
Effective.
Let me get it a different way. The new Interior Minister for the Taliban.
What is that? I saw where one of the YouTubers got the bucking bronco and it was thin in a spot. Oh, that is sad. That's, you know, did you see my video on that? That whole bucking bronco thing was BS. The way the Mint tried to roll it out, saying it's a bronco, you know, bucking off the English rule, and yet the Bronco had a Western-style saddle on it, which wasn't even invented when the English ruled the colonies. So it made no sense. It made no sense. I was not gonna jump on that one. Not at that price. Sorry.
Do we have an opportunity to take him out prior?
Papa Giorgio says this would make a good Dilbert comic strip. Ain't that the truth?
And just finally, does the Over Horizon
Oh man. At what point, you know, you just say, I'm fed up.
Next time has expired.
Well, you know, I already said it because when I voted for president, I voted up yours.
About a red line around Kabul before its fall were false.
So somebody actually had logged that.
Defend Kabul in early August before its fall.
There was never a discussion about defending Kabul before its fall. I will say,
Okay, let's go 2012. There we go.
with a 30-kilometer ring on the outside. Our original proposal was we would ask the Taliban to stay outside that ring, but we were not going to threaten them. We felt that was the best way to do decompression. However, on the day of the meeting, they were already in downtown Kabul, so the graphic was outdated, and we had to proceed from the new reality.
Secretary Austin, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. When I spent some time in the Situation Room with you in 2014, when we were fearing the fall of Erbil. And
Papa Giorgio, no, that was it. I don't think it was a grease strike. I think it was honestly, I think it was gunk.
Did it not cross your mind?
Maybe somebody had something on their hands, and it got transferred over to the coin. I think I could probably use a toothpick and get it off, but I would be afraid of scratching the finish.
What can we do to buy time for that operation to take place?
Wait, did they put the wrong reverse on the 2021 peace dollar? Don't tell me they did that.
About the August 31st.
Yeah, the most originality you'll get from the U.S. Mint, boogers. It could be silicon. Yeah, it could be something like that. I don't know.
Don't make decisions, Congressman. I provided
in your recommendation.
3/9's fine, silver. Awesome.
I'm not aware of
Yeah, 1 ounce.
formal request to the Taliban one way or the other.
I don't really have.
Past the 31st.
You said 14 items, right? So, you know, for price, we'll just divide
Before the fall of Kabul,
total cost divided by total number of items. I don't usually do that, but
I'm not sure what you mean by formal, but
Okay.
I think that's.
Has there ever been a point where the
7.
United States went to the Taliban saying that we are, I believe, on August 31st? I'm talking about prior to the fall of Kabul.
I think from a policy perspective, Zal Khalilzad can give you the detailed information on that. I do believe the Taliban knew that we were departing on the 31st. They announced it.
So you weren't aware of it?
I'm not aware of a formal agreement per se, but I think Zal Khalilzad could give you better definition of it.
General McKenzie, I want to turn back to you there because you were saying that you talked to the Taliban on August 15th.
Maybe they use snot to grease the dyes. That's possible. You know, it just goes to, yeah. Well, you gotta wonder the, you know, quality of individuals working there if there really are staff shortages. You know, you just go to
We're looking at the fundamental viability of
now, I don't normally do this. I don't normally eat fast food or anything like that. But let's just say you go to Burger King or Taco Bell or McDonald's or someplace like that. The amount of weight that you have, the service that you get, is all reflective of the employees that are working there.
No, I think what we're prosecuting now is our authorities that.
All right, that Buffalo Silver Round is a generic. That's going to go in here too.
Mentioned he would have to take that into a classified setting.
So they probably have like new trainees. You know,
yesterday in your hearing from the Senate,
I don't know.
When asked about the war on terror, you said that the war on terror.
I'm just guessing. I just think that, you know, the normal quality that I've come to expect is gone.
From you, in your opinion, is the war in Afghanistan over?
So I believe the war in Afghanistan is not over. I believe we are no longer a party to that war. That doesn't mean that ISIS and Taliban
no
are
offense.
engaged in a furious
We have to
fight
do
this
that.
fall. that may result in the ISIS being crushed, or it may result.
Oh, I see. So
overall.
you're saying that you're referring
Okay.
that you believe that there's
We're good.
a civil war in Afghanistan, but in terms of the United States war against Afghanistan, you would say that is over.
We have no forces in Afghanistan. Our only interest in Afghanistan.
I'm just happy they're not wiping their butts and putting it on the coin, you know? All right. So this is another full case.
General Mark Milley.
Going off.
We know we're not going to defeat the Taliban militarily, and they're not going to defeat the government of Afghanistan militarily. You really blew that call, didn't you, General?
Yes, he did.
I believe that was an issue of strategic stalemate, and that if we had remained in Afghanistan with the advisory levels of effort, then the government of Afghanistan.
Well, that's an interesting answer to a question. It's just not one I asked. You spent more time with Bob Woodward on this book than you spent analyzing the very likely prospect that the Afghanistan government was going to fall immediately to the Taliban, didn't you?
Not even close, Congressman.
Oh, really? Because you said right after Kabul fell that no one could have anticipated the immediate fall of the Ghani government. When did you become aware that Joe Biden tried to get Ghani to lie about the conditions in Afghanistan? He did that in July. Did you know that right away?
I'm not aware of
These are
President Biden.
okay.
You're not aware of the phone call that Biden had with Ghani where he said, whether it is true or not, we want you to go out there and paint a rosy picture of what's going on in Afghanistan. You're the chief military advisor to the president. You said that the Taliban was not going to defeat the government of Afghanistan militarily, which, by the way, they cut them with a hot knife through butter. And then the president tries to get
There was no battle though, and there was no butter cutting at all. Once again, the Afghan army, once the Taliban rolled up to the Afghan army, the Taliban leader said, "Hey, listen, you can fight and die or join us." And the Afghan said, "Oh, that's cool. We'll join you." Hey, Siren Silver Stash. So it's ridiculous. An analogy. Hot knife through butter.
I can't assess.
There wasn't even any butter.
It is consistent with your record. I mean, during the Obama administration, I think they gave you about $48 million to go train up some folks in Syria to go take on the Assad government. And I think your testimony was that only 4 or 5 survived first contact with the enemy. So what confidence should this committee have in you, or should the country have in you, when you've now confessed to us, and whether it's the swing and a miss in Afghanistan that General Milley talked to the Senate about yesterday, total failure, or whether it was the failures in Syria, you don't seem capable to look at a fighting force and determine whether or not they have the will. Is that an embarrassment?
I recall, Congressman, that the end result was the SDF that we stood up that was very, very instrumental in turning the tide of
It's just a poop show.
Yeah, turned it so much, you've got Assad in power in Syria, you've got the Taliban in power in Afghanistan.
I don't even know how much longer I can listen to this.
The focus was ISIS, Congressman, and those forces had significant effect on the ISIS network.
It just seems like you're chronically bad at this, and you have admitted that, I guess, which is your credit. But you know, when people in the military, like Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, stand up and demand accountability, when they say that you all screwed up, when they point out that General Milley's statement that that the government of Afghanistan is not going to get defeated by the Taliban, well, he ends up in the brig. You all end up in front of us.
That's it. That's what Paula was saying.
Money, and we have poured cash and blood and credibility into a Ghani government that was a mirage. It fell immediately. And while the guy sitting next to you was off, talking to Phil Rucker and was off doing his thing with Bob Woodward, we were buying into the big lie. The big lie that this was ever going to be successful, that we could ever rely on the Afghanistan government for anything at all. General Milley, you kind of gave up the game earlier when you said you wanted to address elements of your personal conduct that were in question. We're not questioning your personal conduct. We're questioning in your official capacity going and undermining the chain of command, which is obviously what you did. You created this whole chain
not
of
undermine the chain of
narrative.
command.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. And it
not.
Well, you know what? You said yesterday that you weren't going to resign when senators asked you this question.
Excuses in DC are like a-holes. Everyone has one. Ain't that the truth? Nobody wants to take responsibility or accountability.
You all would be fired because that is what you deserve. You have let down the people who wear the uniform in my district and all around this country, and you're far more interested in what your perception is and how people think about you inside of Washington books than you care about winning.
Gentlemen's
This
time
group
has
is incapable of
expired.
doing it.
Ms. Houlihan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And gentlemen, I apologize for the behavior of my colleagues. I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of your service and of the decades of.
I thought he had a point.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask.
Am I wrong?
Questions of you, questions that ought to be asked of you in the spirit of our responsibility of oversight rather than provocation. So I just have a couple of questions of clarification from this testimony that's happened so far. And the first one is for you, General McKenzie. You mentioned something about in your opening remarks about you having looked at different branches to account for the complete collapse of the government and the Afghan military.
Okay.
That's the first time, frankly, that I've heard that scenario being articulated out loud. Most of the testimony that I've heard prior.
These are cool gaming tokens. I like these a lot.
So, as somebody who's a decision, a branching engineer type person, that's what I do. I'm intrigued to see if that is indeed what you did have and what the likelihood you put
This is
to
the
that
Caesar's
and
Palace one.
associated with that would be.
So as we drew up the NEO plan, one of the assumptions of the NEO plan
1996.
was that the Afghan military would be able to continue to secure HKI because the Turks were there, but they only actually
Because I have
secured a small fraction
one
of the airfield, maybe 20% of it. The rest
Treasure
of that
Island.
around the entire runway was actually secured by Afghan military forces.
So
Our
this one
assumption was
is
they would
Circus
continue to perform
Circus,
that
Mandalay Bay,
but we also, since we
and
stated
Caesar's
that as an
Palace.
assumption,
Awesome.
the way
So
we're
we're
doing
adding
it,
to
we
it.
have to say that something's wrong because an assumption is a future hypothetical condition that we believe is going to occur. We felt that was always something that we should challenge. So we developed a plan.
I know that there's different styles and editions and stuff, but I'm not going to take the time to look it up now.
Where we would introduce adequate combat forces to physically take over securing the perimeter of that airfield in case the ANDSF did melt away. Well, as we got into the first week of August, it began to look increasingly likely that they would melt away. So I talked to the secretary, talked to the chairman, and we agreed to begin to flow forces in for that.
That's $10. Wow.
Thank you. And my question to you, related for all three
What
of you,
year is
perhaps
this
it's your
one?
general,
This one
how long have you believed that the Afghan
is.
military might not be up to the task of taking
Oh,
over
no
and
date.
maintaining security against the Taliban? We discussed a lot of different timelines over the course of the last few months. Has it been
No date on the Circus Circus
how long
one.
have you been relaying that information or that concern possibly to any of our senior leaders or senior administration? If you could share that with us as well.
Ma'am, so I'll start. I think it actually, from the relatively short-term perspective, I think the Doha Agreement.
Who are these people on the boat, I wonder?
Had a really pernicious effect on the government of Afghanistan and on its military. Psychological more than anything else, but we set a date certain for when we were going to leave and when they could expect all assistance to end. So for the first time, there was something out there in front of them. Now, I think that's an important thing. The other point would be, it's been my position and my judgment that if we went below an advisory level.
No date on the Mandalay Bay either.
The government of Afghanistan would likely collapse.
That's okay.
And the military would follow, and one might go before the other, but I believe that was going to be the inevitable result of drawing down to zero, and I've expressed that opinion in writing for quite a while. Now, so taking a look at that, that was sort of my best judgment on that. I believe that, so going below 2,500, I think, was the other sort of nail in the coffin, if you will, that allowed the Afghan government, that led to conditions where, first of all, we could no longer see what was happening to the force because our advisors were no longer down there with those units. So, to give an example, if we shipped a box of mortar rounds into Afghanistan, we would sign it over on the ramp at HKIA, and the Afghans would truck it away. There would be nobody below that level to help them disperse it, to see if it went to the bazaar or if it went down to the unit rounds.
All right, guys. Kellen already gave up. He says, well, I don't think I'm getting any work done today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to shave and shower and shave. And I think that's going to be my biggest accomplishment for the day. But no, this is work, right? I'd call this work. I got a lot of this stuff done, and it was been
caused them to release
sitting
5,000
here
prisoners.
for more than a week.
And those prisoners,
So
many of those prisoners went back to fill the
it had to
ranks.
be done. Had to
So
be
they got
done.
a lot stronger. They continued their attacks. We got smaller, and so I agree with Joe McKenzie. That's when you could begin to see things really begin to happen.
That's how I'm justifying my coin and precious metal addiction. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I know. Well, at least I didn't go through the copper coins.
Said today that you saw this as a strategic failure
As
a 30-year veteran.
Because that would have taken even longer.
4 times myself.
But
three of you.
wow. Okay.
And
I think we did good. You guys.
blood
I love the googly eye
ended up in a strategic failure.
for. It's really cute.
Didn't have the president come out and say.
Yeah, John Jacobs, I gotta agree with you 100%. I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I'm not a fan of any of the prospects, really, that were available for our choosing.
That he can recall advised him to keep a force.
Oh, you know what? I calculated all those wrong. It's actually not.
It's not true.
It was
Yesterday,
29.
we've heard today.
What's a dollar here or there? I'm not going to go back through it all. We're going to mark this as logged. Marking Sacaplatas as logged.
That makes us mad as hell too.
Logged.
Thirdly, I think it's important to point out that this.
It's an illusion. It's all an illusion of representation.
Caution both presidents.
Run by big money corporate elites.
Members of both the House and Senate.
And personally, I'm sick of it. I always said that, our elected representatives should be selected from the people. So I'm in favor of a jury pool style system for candidates where people locally just get randomly selected. There has to be some sort of, check to make sure, that they're somewhat psychologically stable, and who cares what their politics are, and you get like 10 people or something, or 4 people, depending on the office, and you have a free, series of debates aired on television or streamed, and that people can vote. And you do that from the local level all the way up to the state and national level. And you completely remove dark money contributions and money from politics. We have to get rid of all the career politicians. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. They're more worried about their next election than they are taking care of the people. For the most part. Now, there are some politicians with principles, but it says a lot when, the majority of politicians in Congress right now are over 65 years old. At least senators. That says a lot.
Do you see this as underlying reason for the Afghan forces collapse?
Anyway,
I think all of those reasons.
guys, I'm out of coffee. It's time for lunch. I think I'm going to end it.
Take away most of our air power. If they were used to
I really appreciate you hanging out while I got my work done. I'm pausing it. I can't listen to this anymore. Anyway, hey guys, I'm going to get going. Thanks so much for hanging out. They all have money. And then if they don't have a lot of money, trust me, they end up making a lot of money, right? Once again, just look into, what happened with the president of the Fed Bank in Boston and I believe Texas, who were trading while the Fed is buying equities. And so, they talk about insider information, talk about corruption. Unbelievable. Yes, I agree 100%, Calinel. So, Siren Silver Stash votes for the googly eyes. So do I. You guys, have a beautiful, wonderful day. There's the unicorn here as well. Really cool little pores. Nice chunky bits of silver. All right. Guys, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Thanks, Papa Giorgio. You too. All right, guys. Time to go.